Are we on?
Yep.
Okay, we're on.
Check, check.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Ah!
That's our thoughts on 2024. Goodbye, everyone. No, we're gonna give you a full show tonight. Welcome everyone. 2024. How to describe 2024?
Sure was a hell of a year.
Was a hell of a year. If 2023, if 2023 was kind of a year of like I won't go into detail, but 2023 was kind of a year of all of us realizing we weren't where we wanted to be and us getting to where we wanted to be by the end of it. This year was just us sort of coming into our own. You know what I mean? Like getting to do what we wanted to do. Steven graduated college. I solidified myself in the world of graduate studies, and I'm now writing a thesis.
And I've just been vibing.
Well, you've been vibing, but you've also been doing great at work. Like, you kind of have been getting more responsibilities. Teachers have been kind of leaning on you, from what I understand. And it's great, you know, and Heather, my girlfriend, has been doing great as well. Like, she's really coming to her own at her job as well. So that's how I would describe 2024. That's for us. Other than that, the world has been fucking nuts.
Yeah.
This year has just been insane.
There's a horse loose in the hospital.
Like, can you guys, like, I want to put this in perspective for you guys. Do you remember the Willy Wonka thing in Scotland?
Yeah, that happened this year.
That happened this year.
It feels like it happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, and that was just the warm-up act. And then we got everything else that came after it. Like, it began with, it kind of began with that whole weird thing of them finding people running around in a whole secret tunnel system in the Lower East Side of New York. And it ended with, let's just say Nintendo's been having a very rough year this year. With certain...
Remember when RFK said he had brainworms, and then just nobody brought it up again?
Yeah, and then, they couldn't bring it up again, because then he brought up the thing that he did with the bear. It's kind of funny. RFK is the ultimate oversharer. And, like...
I mean, I'm gonna awaken my Lee Harvey Oswald whenever he bans Crustables, so...
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys!
But, I guess I'll go ahead and get started, because these guys, unfortunately couldn't join me and Heather, at CAD, Con Delete up in the Chicago area. Once again, great CAD. A couple of our panels were duds, but it was nice to see everyone anyway, and we had a great time overall, so it's nice to see everyone. You can catch me and Heather, at Zap if you're heading out that way, but, other than that, we don't have really any shared stories from CAD, so, and I don't want to bum these guys out anymore that they couldn't be there this year.
It's alright.
But yeah, suffice to...
I mean, there was Cuddle Room 2, Electric Boogaloo, so I think I'm glad it didn't go.
Well, it didn't devolve into a disaster, that's all I'll say about it. But, in any case, it was still a fun time. So that's kind of...
I think I'm kind of going through con withdrawal, because I literally had a dream last night where I was getting in costume, getting ready to host a panel.
Well, yeah, I can understand that. But hey, we are going to be at UICon, and we'll be there separately at AMKey.
Oh yeah, and me and Steven got our panel lists for the panels approved in our time slots for AMKey.
Good, cool. So did we.
UICon still hasn't put their stuff out yet.
Yeah, and we'll also be doing Anime Iowa in 2025. The thing is, we want to start booking our set list for UICon and Anime Iowa, but
their stuff just isn't open yet.
As the second that they open, we will start booking stuff, but we literally can't book stuff until they let us book stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was sort of CAD in a nutshell. You know, I mean, it was special, as all of them are, but, you know, very fun. Got to see, you know, old friends, meet new people that enjoyed our work, so, you know, it was great. So that's really all I have to say about CAD. Y'all want to start doing our anime roundup?
Sure.
So
Looks like our first one here is Heather's pick. Gugure Kokuri-san?
So, I have a funny story about Kokori-san. So, I first saw that anime back in 2015. Like, I saw the first episode, and I thought it was cute enough. You know, I was like, okay, this is a cutesy art style. This has kind of a cute, you know, premise to it. I could probably get behind it. So, watching it, I was actually kind of excited. It had the same sort of thing going for it for me that Blood Blockade Battlefront did. It had... where it's like, it's a really cool premise and everything. I just never followed up with it because, you know, life gets in the way. And, you know, you gotta spend 4 hours, you know, watching an anime that might end up to suck. Here's the thing about Kokori-san, though. It didn't suck. Like, it was a lot of fun to watch. But, man, did it get out of pocket at points.
Yeah, it's like episode 1. It's like, oh, so Spirit Guy's becoming this little weird girl's new dad. Episode 2, oh, pedophile dog.
Yeah, so I'm somewhat going to be cautious because out of context, the show sounds really bad, but in context, the show's actually quite funny. It's almost like a level of humor that you don't really see anymore, just because of how like off limits and out of pocket a lot of the humor is. But yeah, there's a lot of that kind of humor that Hannah just pointed out too.
Yeah. They introduce it's like a dog spirit, and
Oh God.
yeah, it's out he's the spirit of a dog that the girl saved once. So now he wants to marry this. I think she's like 8
Yeah, if that.
years old.
Yeah, and it's very kind of you know, Ouija board-esque.
And it does not get better.
Yeah, it but it never becomes like a thing that you're supposed to take seriously. It's not like Usagi Drop, for example.
Yeah.
Like it never gets like it's always played for...
It doesn't cross the line.
Yeah, everything's played for laughs. It's just like I said, playing those sorts of things for laughs are a really dicey proposition. Even back in 2015, even more so now in 2024. But I still think it works. Like I mean, it had me laughing out loud at certain points, just of how ridiculous the premise was of this little girl who can summon spirits, and all of the spirits are some level of either damaged or horny.
Sometimes both.
Yeah, sometimes both.
I like the alcoholic Tanuki spirit guy that gets introduced like halfway through.
Oh yeah, and did they do the whole Tanuki thing that they did from Pompoko?
Yeah, well, I think they didn't show it on screen, but I think they had him like hidden behind a censor bar and like a little info, like translator's note up, like
That's
yeah,
right.
according to folklore, Tanuki's testicles inflate.
Yeah, yes. If you've seen Pompoko, you know what we're talking about. But you know, it was a cute show. Like like I said, it was funny. And it never did cross any sort of lines that we had to be, you know, like okay, like because if it had crossed that line, I would have turned it off immediately.
That'd been our second show of 2024 that we didn't even finish.
Right, yeah, which we'll get to a yearly anime roundup just to kind of talk about like all the stuff we've seen this year and sort of give kind of just a fun little look back. But yeah, for Kokori-san, I mean, I gave it a B tier. I don't even really have that many thoughts about it. It's a very fun in the moment show, but it doesn't kind of
it doesn't really stick with you.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of like, do you remember when we watched Another?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where Another is fun in the moment, but it kind of goes in one ear, out the other. Like, there's nothing really offensive about it. I mean, unless, you know, pending.
Yeah.
But, like,
your mileage may vary on it.
Yeah, your mileage may vary on it, but by and large, I think, you know, it is very funny. It is very, it is quite cute in points. It was just, you know, nothing really to write home about. But that being said, I had fun with it, so I gave it a B tier.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Okay, moving on.
And next one, I think this one was my pick.
That was your pick.
This is my anime of the year 2024.
We're gonna shift gears real hard here. We went from a show that like, yeah, it's okay, to like, holy shit, this is really fucking good.
Yeah. So, I picked this. I kept an eye on this show back when the 2024 seasons were rolling around because one, it's a music anime. Two, the director and writing team are all from Love Live Sunshine.
Right? Yeah. We talked about this. So why don't you introduce the show?
Yeah. This is Girls Band Cry. This is Toei Studios' attempt at making a multimedia music franchise. Where, like, back in like I think it was 2020, where they held auditions for girls that play instruments to be in a band for them, and they got 5 girls: a singer, guitarist, bassist, drums, keyboard. Then they formed the band Togenashi Togeari. I always have struggled to pronounce that name.
And what does that translate to in the Japanese?
Thornless Thorn.
Okay. Continue.
Just the silence. It's like, okay.
So yeah, it's cool, like pop punk emo type band thing, and like made really good music even before the anime came out. And now that the anime did come out, it's amazing.
Yeah. When did the band form? Just so we're clear on the timeline.
I think they started releasing music in like 2021. I think so. Like they wanted to establish the band first, like try to get a fandom for the band before they made the anime.
Sure, 100%. So they've been around for a while. You know, they've been able to, get their footing before they and just so we're clear, the band in the show is voiced by the band in real life.
Yeah, like Love Live.
Okay. Just so we're all clear that this is basically a Love Live-esque production, even though it goes in a completely different musical direction to it. I guess we could give our general reactions to Girls Band Cry.
And I feel like it definitely is darker than where Love Live goes.
Yeah.
It's like, see, the first episode is the main singer girl is basically dropped out of school and ran away from home because she was getting bullied.
Yeah, which it becomes a really rough plot point to get through later on in the show. But yeah, she ends up in Tokyo, where she runs into this amazing
She was the
Momoka, right?
Yeah, she was the lead vocalist of the band that Nina was inspired by.
Yeah. I'll say that those first couple of episodes were a bit confusingly written for me because I wasn't sure who was coming and going.
Yeah.
It's like she's here and then she leaves and then she's back and then
Yeah, it was a lot of I'm moving away. No, I'm back. It's like, no, this is going to be the last time I play with you guys. I'm really quitting for real this time.
That actually didn't bother me because I've seen shows like that where this is going to be my last show and then it's like they
Psych.
Yeah, then they do kind of a bait and switch on you, but it was just kind of like, okay, what exactly is going on here with this girl? But as soon as that all settled down and they actually got into the weeds on how this band is, being set up, then it really got good. And this is where I want to bring attention to, the thing that really won me over about this show was its writing, especially its writing of Nina,
Yeah.
the main girl in this, because they write her just so realistically. There's no anime tropes. To compare it to something like Love Live, Honoka is
It's like the energetic, happy-go-lucky girl.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you like Honoka because she is so happy-go-lucky and everything. Sure, she might screw up. She might screw up a lot, but she's still a likable character, and you want to see her succeed. Nina is different in that she does screw up, but she's very sort of insecure about the fact that she screws up, even though that she is self-aware that she screws up, which is very kind of realistic. It's like, God damn it, I keep fucking this up, but I don't want to fuck this up, but it's like, oops, it happened again, It's a very kind of realistic predicament to...
Yeah, it's a realistic portrayal of messy teenager.
Yeah, exactly. Steven, what were your thoughts on...
I thought it was pretty good. So I'm just a little out of it today.
No, it's okay. Just drink your coffee and it'll be okay.
Yeah, my Russian Irish coffee, yeah.
Russian Irish.
Yeah.
But no, the show was pretty good. I was about to say entertaining, like it's like just a one-off thing. But it was a really good show. I also like how we never got to the bassist backstory and
Oh yeah, I remember when the final episode aired, the director actually put out a statement on Twitter saying, "I'm sorry we never got to Rupa's backstory. Nina's just a messy, lovable asshole."
Oh, that's right. They never did get to
Yeah,
Rupa's backstory.
It's like, all we know about Rupa is that her parents are dead.
Yeah, like, come on, that's not an arc.
That her parents are dead, and she's pretty much Tomo's legal guardian now because Tomo just needed an adult to live with.
Yeah, but
Like, hey, you're the one member of my old band that actually still likes me.
Yeah, it's like, I like Rupa, so do more with her. But,
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait for season 2, which, based on the success of this show, I assume is gonna be a thing.
I think for what we know, the future of the band right now is that the real life band has got a lot more shows.
Okay, so...
It's like they're actually doing a collaboration live show, I think in January, with Mygo, who's one of the bands from Bandery.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
apparently that Bandery anime with Mygo, people are saying that show is really good, so I might watch that one sometime.
Okay.
So I know,
Mygo where?
so I know that
Cargo?
I know that
Cargo fast.
I know that also has Koko Hayashi in that one, who's the new voice of Setsuna. She's the drummer of that band.
Oh, okay,
So-
cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
And I know they're also making a mobile game for Girls Band Cry.
Okay.
So
Can't wait for it to die in a month, like Lil Wayne did.
Yeah, hope it has a long... That was another thing that happened in 2024.
yeah, the SIF2 global version announced its end of service date before its release date.
It tested so poorly that they just decided to get ahead of the game.
Give me money. You have until here. Go.
Hurry up! We gotta keep the lights on in this bitch.
I need another yacht.
Speaking of music, though, with Girls Band Cry's music is so good. Every single song I really, really like.
Yeah, like the OP, like Void is that one song that they always keep playing in it.
Yeah, Void was great.
And then I remember when I was watching the show by myself week by week as it was coming out. It's like episode 11, I think it was, where episode 10 or 11, where they did Emptiness and Catharsis. Like, just that whole music video, just, like, even after the episode finished, and it's like my thing was just on the black screen, just sitting there for a while, just, damn.
Yeah. All of the music is great in it. Even kind of the one-off songs I really like. I like how, speaking of the music, I like how they go more into the process of writing music like this, because Love Live didn't really do that. Not that I expect Love Live to do that, but Love
And they
Live
just show, like, Maki or Rico just on the piano once, and then suddenly it would be a full instrumental track when they...
Yeah, like they didn't. But here you see, like any good band, they're going through all sorts of different types of music. Not even different types of rock, just different types of music, trying to like suss out what their sound is going to be.
A good chunk of the anime is in the studio.
Yeah, which I really liked about that aspect. I like how in one they're listening to what sounds kind of like an instrumental of Blue Monday, and they got that pigeon in the background who's just bobbing its head to sort of the bass line. Yeah, it's not actually Blue Monday. I'm just saying
It just sounds kind of like Blue Monday.
it's got the same kind of.
It was giving us the vibes.
It was giving us the vibes of it, but yeah, I really liked how they went into the process of making music, and the part of Girls Band Cry that I really, really loved, was the episode 8, where Momoka and Nina sort of have their big, let's be real, they have a number of big confrontations.
Yeah.
This is like the big final confrontation where where Momoka takes Nina to her old band to watch a show of theirs and try to tell her, this is where you're gonna end up if you keep trying to chase this dream. Not that you're gonna fail, but like that you're gonna.
Momoka left her old band because they were selling out.
Yeah,
It's like they went from being like a regular, just kind of punk band, like what Togenashi Togearu were doing, to like they had to sell out, become an idol band.
Yes, exactly. And I like that then Nina turns around and says, "That's not why I got into music. I got into music because, you inspired me, and now you're giving up." And it's like, it's a big whole thing. And then she tries to drive away, and then Nina jumps out in front of her truck and causes her to spin around, and then just runs into their old band, and then Momoka blows up at her old band, and then drives Nina back. And then
There's crying to the old songs.
yeah. It was a really. It sounds silly almost, but it was a very sort of visceral, emotional moment. Like, if you want to see like just kind of a microcosm of what I love about the writing in Girls Band Cry, just watch episode 8 and you'll get it, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good show. Gosh, I'm kind of running out of things to say about Girls Band other than watch it. Like, watch it.
Yeah. I think I also heard they're doing compilation movies. They're like the 2-part recap movies sometime in 2025. So
Okay.
I think that's giving some hope for season 2.
Okay.
They know they said that about Bocchi, but I haven't seen season 2 announcement yet.
And that's because the guy behind it is also doing Free Run too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And he's doing a Love Live project now. He's doing the movies.
Oh, that's the character designer. The guy was talking about the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's I know that a lot of people from Bocchi the Rock are doing like different jobs right now, and are probably going to be busy until like basically the end of 2025, maybe even 2026. But
Yeah.
but with Girls Band Cry, I don't know. It just kind of struck me how just oddly real it was. I mean, it kind of going back to the Love Live comparison. I've said this before, like when we talked about Wake Up Girls, how like Love Live is a very sort of fairy tale-esque show where it's like, it's this idea that you and your buds are going to get together, you're going to make a band, it's going to go great, you're going to become
Gonna be the top band in the country.
yeah, and it's going to be just all laughs and smiles along the way. That's a heavily abridged version because there are some quite emotional, moments in Love Live. But long and short of it, that's what Love Live is about. Here, their success is not guaranteed, and you see that it's not even like
the series even ends with them kind of failing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do start to build like a core audience, a core fan base, and everything. And it's not like Wake Up Girls in that it shows kind of the exploitative side of the music industry. It doesn't even really do much with the industry, like, at all, like, one way or another. It just kind of shows that your talent, your perseverance, and your kind of will to be the best can, and this is a hard lesson to learn, all that stuff can only get you so far.
Yeah. So the music you want to make versus what sells.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's kind of Momoka's point, and Nina has to, like, stick to her principles of, like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what matters to me most, and we're going to do this. We, like, even if it's difficult. And that's what I really love about the show is just how, like what it has to add to kind of the pantheon of music shows in anime, basically.
Yeah.
So, what are your sort of final thoughts? And we'll get Steven's final thoughts as well on Girls Band Cry once he gets back. But
Give it a high S tier. It's a show that really blew me away.
yeah, I agree with that. It is an S tier for me. Definitely not the show that I was kind of expecting. I was expecting more of like, I don't know, more of a vehicle to sell a soundtrack. You know what I mean? Which is not the first time that has happened to me, because like I started watching Pokemon when I was old, and I thought, oh, this is just a show to sell like trading cards and stuff. And the show actually turned out to be like a lot of fun to watch.
Sorry guys, my drink was just stale. Had to get new ones.
No, it's okay. But we would like to hear your final thoughts on Girls Band Cry.
Definitely was more than just. I thought it was gonna be like a Love Live carbon copy. I was thoroughly surprised that it wasn't, and thoroughly happy that it wasn't. Has a little bit more depth, and yeah, I'm pretty sure these guys already talked about it already. But
No, it's okay if you have other stuff that you want to say about it. I mean, we talked about how good the music was. We talked about how.
oh yeah, my finally something I could actually jam out to.
Yeah.
Not that Love Live. I mean, I'm not a big pop fan, so Love Live music is like for me. I saw favorites, but it's just like I'm not gonna actively choose to listen to those. But this one, however,
See, my soundtrack is all screwed up because I could be listening.
Like
soundtrack,
Metallica, Oasis, Love Live.
Yeah, it'll be like I'll be listening to Creed's One Last Breath. I'll be listening to Crossfade's Cold. And then all of a sudden a fucking BB single will come on, or like, or a pre...
Hey, start, dash!
Yeah, or like Preen Tumps will come on, or...
it's that fucking meme where Nick Cage is just sitting there and the other guy just starts smiling back at him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my playlist is like. But yeah, my final ranking on Girls Band Cry, S tier. It grew. It took a while to like grow on me, but yeah, it is definitely an S tier.
I'd say S tier as well.
See.
Okay.
Now we have
Steven's pick, which was Fairy Tale, the Battle of Fairy Tale.
Just for a preference from this season and the next season's on, you're gonna be hearing that a little bit because that's gonna be my picks until I run out of the show.
until we all just it'll be his club pick until we all die. But
I'm pretty sure the Heat Death in the Universe won't be that quick.
But that being said, kind of jumping the gun a little bit because we are going to talk about everything that we've watched this year, kind of in a nebulous fashion. Steven's picks throughout, I would say since the end of February, have been Fairy Tale. And I've really loved Fairy Tale. Like Fairy Tale has been a lot of fun to watch, just from a variety of different standpoints. But Steven, since this was your pick, why don't you lay out what the Battle of Fairy Tale is about?
Yeah, I think Steven only had 2 picks this year that weren't Fairy Tale.
Which would have been
Buddy Daddies and Persona 5.
Oh, that's right. You've had 2 of the longest picks this year, like in terms of just episode length. But yeah.
All right,
go for it. Battle of Fairy Tale.
Battle of Fairy Tale is the season 1 end arc, and it was just basically grandson of the master wants to make Fairy Tale more of like a militaristic style wizard guild, so he wanted to pretty much kick out all the weak people that he saw as weak, and then Natsu stops him. There it is.
I mean. Yeah.
There's a little bit more nuance to it, like they kind of frame it like a battle royale around a
Fortnite
festival.
time.
Fortnite, I swear. But Fortnite, but better. They kind of frame it as like a battle royale around a festival that the town has every year,
which has like a Florida-style bikini contest to it. The world of Fairy Tale, I swear. But
just roll with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes this show and the little antics is just roll with it.
It was Happy's fucking idea to get Lucy into that contest, and then Urza just shows up anyway.
You're like, fuck, there goes my rep money.
Yeah. It's like that scene from Longest Yard. Now I'll never get to play. But, yeah, then, what was the grandson's name again?
Loxus.
Loxus, that's right. Loxus shows up, turns all of the baddies into stone, and then locks Natsu and what's the grandfather's name again?
Makarov.
And Makarov behind the Matrix.
No, that was Freed's doing. The rule was if you're over 80 or a stone statue, you cannot leave.
Seems like that second part is a little bit redundant.
It is,
okay.
but that
Do I look over 80 to you?
But if you know that, but if you've seen Fairy Tale, you know what that first part means.
Oh, is that like? Gonna
It's a little bit of foreshadowing.
Okay. I will. I can't wait because I've had such fun.
You'll find out this time next year.
Great! Spoilers for 2025. It's Off the Balcony season finale. Anyway, in looking at all of the different fairy tale arcs that we've watched over the years,
Over the years. Man, this is really flown by.
over the months,
It's been a long ass year.
we've seen a lot of fairy tale arcs. Like, what episode number are we at? Like 60 or so?
50?
Episode 50 of a like.
This is including me skipping a whole bunch of fillers, too.
Okay, of like a 400.
About 330 episodes.
Okay, and of the arcs, this one wasn't one of my favorite. I still liked it. Like, I thought the interplay between Loxus and Makarov was good. Like, especially that ending was quite emotional and helped bump it up a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I wish the arc had more of that kind of emotion.
Kind of how they're doing 7 episodes, but, you know.
Well, yeah, but, you know, we don't get to decide how long these arcs really are, but
That's up to A1 before they kind of got kicked off.
Are they off of Fairy Tale
Yes.
after this arc?
Not after this arc. In 2014, they got kicked off. And so, in this one, we're probably about 130 episodes off from when they get kicked out.
Okay, so we'll still, because I do like the art style. I know A1 kind of gets some flack for having a sort of sameness to their art style, but I think Fairy Tale is so kind of out there, like as like a fantasy world, that it actually works. That A1 Studios actually works for it. But yeah, comparing it to like, because I think the last few arcs have been kind of origin arcs for, we had Gray with the Galuna Island arc, which I really liked. We had Lucy's arc, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that all of Fairy Tale rallies to defend her. And then we had the Tower of Heaven arc, which I think was my favorite Fairy Tale arc. It was either that or Galuna Island. I liked the most. But this one, it was good. I just felt like, I know it's only 7 episodes, so you can't really, it just felt like, it kind of came and went, if that makes sense.
I feel like this was like an issue of presentation because the way these two were directed was, the way it was supposed to be watched, I guess, was supposed to be no-lifed from Tower of Heaven all the way through to the Battle of Fairy Tale.
Like, they're supposed to be combined.
Kind of, yeah, but they do have their own separate arcs because it feels kind of off showing you guys one thing one week and the other week's like, it feels like a complete 90 on it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's just that the last episode of Tower of Heaven also sets up the first episode to the Battle of Fairy Tale. It's like, yeah.
yeah, I can understand that, like, presentation, like, sort of can disrupt storytelling, essentially. That being said, there is stuff in the Battle of Fairy Tale arc that I do like. Like, I thought that Juvia had a lot more to do in this.
Yes, Juvia. This is where the start of Juvia's personality starts to actually bloom.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect.
Yeah.
She has a personality besides Gray.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think all the characters get, you know, fun stuff to do. Like, I really like the kind of character diversity we get in Fairy Tale itself, because there's a lot of just, they almost look like goofy wrestling characters from like the late 80s or the 90s, like the big French guy whose power is like creating illusions.
They changed this pronunciation of the name like 8 different times during the show. I think it's supposed to be, I can't remember. I know it ends in D-U-S. It just never, it's like Geetus or Wheatus. I can never tell you which one it is.
Wheatus.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
God damn it. I knew that was coming. But
He's got like Bob Ross's head.
Bob Ross's head and just looks like an actual paint puff.
Yeah, absolutely. But
And I do like that one guy whose power's just guns.
Oh,
Yeah,
Alz-
looks like one of those Mexican gunslingers.
yeah.
Yeah, I do like how they made Alzak go on his Punisher arc.
Right. But here's something that I've noticed throughout Fairy Tail, sort of throughout. It's not even anything storytelling wise. I really dig the world design of Fairy Tail because, and I probably brought this up before, but you can't really pin Fairy Tail to like an era, if that makes sense. It's kind of in the same way that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is, in that only more so because like you can't really pin it to a. It's like, oh, this is medieval era. This is
Yeah, because I say
Victorian era.
Full Metal Alchemist pins itself because it actually gives dates.
Yeah, here you've got. I mean, you've got
The year is like 700 something, but you can never really actually tell what fucking part of medieval that's supposed to be.
because you've got steam trains, but you've also got like computers, kind of, and you've got chicks in bikinis and.
You got modern merchandising practices.
Yeah, you've got you know sailbound ships. I mean,
You got weird guys playing jazz.
yeah, exactly. You can't pin it to an era, which I think is a unique take for a fantasy world that I think makes Fairy Tail kind of stand out more. That there isn't like, and even some of the greatest fantasy shows ever, shows that I love, tend to not do that. They tend to pin themselves to a very specific era.
I think what Hiro Mashima or Mashima, I cannot tell you
I think Mashima.
what Mashima was trying to do was kind of forming like Dragon Ball's world building in a way where you can't exactly tell what
sure.
era that's supposed to be.
Yeah, I could see
It's only
that.
like age triple digit number here, but it's like they have futuristic stuff. They also have like weird creatures in the background. Dragon Ball has dinosaurs still for some reason.
Yeah, and I think it really works for that regard. That like the fact that you do throw so many different fantasy elements into the pot, you kind of get something.
I can tell you that they don't go to space.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not like Dragon Ball where they go to space. There's nothing in that. There's nothing in that there.
Yeah. That being said, with,
Got all this weird stuff going on, but going to space is where we draw the line.
Well-
Yeah.
but with I guess to roll it back to Battle of Fairy Tail arc. I mean, is it a bad arc in and of itself? No, not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
we learned what Mystigan looks like.
right. Yeah. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. I just didn't find it as compelling as some of the previous arcs. So
We also learned how strong Mystigan is of a person.
oh, right.
Illusions into a sleeping spell into a oh my god.
Yeah. So where I stand with it, I give it a B tier. It's certainly not the worst like Fairy Tail arc. I still contend that kind of, and this isn't even an insult towards it, that my least favorite Fairy Tail arc was the way that it kind of started, because it felt kind of aimless. As soon as they started doing like, storylines,
Yeah.
it really started to build upon itself. But I'd say this arc was fairly weak, but not really a detriment to Fairy Tail as a whole. Like, especially of what I've seen, and I understand more why you flip flop between Fairy Tail being an A tier and a B tier.
Mhm.
Arcs like this make me realize why that is.
Yeah. And this trend continues all the way till the end of the show.
Great.
So you're like, this could have been better, but then this one over here is good. So it's really just a matter of where did the studio focus their attention on which part of the story they want to show.
Preview for 2025. Us going back and forth between A tier and B tier, between whatever Fairy Tail arc we happen to watch during the cycle.
Hey, but hey, I can tell you in the future you get to hear Swayze's voice.
Oh, nice. Who does he
Yay!
play?
He voices Hades.
Oh, okay.
It is in 3-ish arcs, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah, no, 3 arcs. Yeah, from this point on, we have. It's like 3 more arcs until we hit them.
I will say a boon to Fairy Tail is that the way that you are showing it to us is very watchable, rather than doing like a burst of say 12 episodes at a time, and you're showing us arc by arc, and I think that's much more conducive.
I will say I got that inspiration from Demon Slayer.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it looks like it works for them.
Fair enough. I I will let you guys say your piece about Fairy Tale. I mean, at least this arc of Fairy
I'll
Tale.
let Hannah go first because she usually just has like the least to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about Fairy Tale. I mean, they're just battle shonens aren't really my thing.
Okay, fair enough. You know, different strokes and everything.
Yeah.
You'd better not stop showing us, because now I'm invested. I want to see where
Yeah.
this is going.
Oh, I didn't have plans to stop.
Okay.
uh,
So yeah, B tier for me.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, in mine, whenever we do that tier list, which I need to honestly catch up on mine, and I need to just basically take the list Hannah has and put them in my little tier rankings. For me, yeah, this show does straddle the line between A and B, mainly because of how it goes, and for me, it's how the entire show concludes, but I can't say anything about that yet. But
Okay.
for season 1, I'd say this season is probably like, I don't know, do I just say B and a half? I
Sure.
guess.
I mean, B.5 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because like, I can't put it at like a low A tier, and I can't put it at a high B tier. It's kind of like straddling that middle line.
B plus.
B plus. That's a B plus.
Well, okay. Before we move on, I want to know, like, as a full, since you have watched Fairy Tale all the way through,
Multiple times.
what? More? Oh, right, more than once. You don't have to please don't give any spoilers, but what is your final ranking of Fairy Tale as a show aggregate? I know that's a tall order, but I am genuinely curious.
Aggregate. Okay, so I'm gonna exclude 100 Years Quest because I know that's airing, but I haven't seen any of it. Sorry, guys. I know I'm a nerd, but I can't do that. I can't go that far. I would probably say it leans more A than B
Okay.
as an entire show. Especially once A1 gets kicked off the train, it starts getting a lot better.
Okay. That's
Yeah, once we hit episode 184, we'll be fine.
Oh shit. Are we on like something for like several episodes? Like, you know how Berserk, they were on a boat for a while?
No, that doesn't happen, thankfully. Fairy Tail knows how to keep the pace going.
Okay. Just as a final question, did they ever go on hiatus? Fairy Tale.
Yes, between 2014 and... like, beginning of 2014 to the end of 2014 when they were trying to figure out how the fuck they were going to reanimate everyone.
Oh, I didn't mean the show. I meant the manga.
Oh, the manga? I know, all I know is that Mishima definitely, Mashima, sorry. I say Mishima because I'm fucking reminded of Persona.
Yeah.
Mashima, he has taken a few breaks, but I'm pretty sure that he's able to do his in a healthy way.
Okay, real quick. I know you.
Because I know he. I'm sorry. I know.
No, go ahead.
I
Go
know.
ahead.
I know he. I know to like vent a lot of things or update his fans. He does a lot of Twitter Spaces,
Okay.
and I jumped into them. But I'm just like sitting here and like going. I don't understand these sounds.
So, real quick, every time you say Mashima, I keep thinking of that one like jock chick from Nozaki-kun, who was just head over heels for one of the.
Oh, Kashima?
Yeah, Kashima, who was head over heels for the Sigma manga guy, not Nozaki himself.
His other
Oh.
guy.
Oh, the drama club prince and the director?
Yes, that was just a funny.
Yeah, Kashima's the girl that looks like the princely type boy. It's like the main, like the leading man of the drama club. And then there's, I forget his name, but it's the the senior director guy. And they have their own little romance arc.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because, well, I won't spoil anything for Steve.
Yeah.
But-
Since Steven hasn't seen Nozaki yet, I bought the Blu-ray of it during Sentai's Black Friday sale, so that's going to be my Love Month pick again for this year.
Oh, cool. And
So
then we get to talk about
like,
Nozaki-kun.
So I know, like, for 2 years ago, I shoved that for Love Month when it was you and Yanin Club, but now that Steven's here, and Steven hasn't seen it yet, so...
Yeah, you're gonna love that show.
I feel like
imagine Comey can't communicate, but they lean more heavily into the crazy eccentricities of the classmates.
Okay.
So anyway, I had to throw that out there.
A rom-com where everyone's an idiot?
Yeah, basically.
So my life.
Anyway,
so for the Battle of Fairy Tail, I give that arc a B tier, mainly because of constraints. Can't exactly do too much, but Loxus being the Loxus Having that little moment at the very end, bump it
That,
up.
that was good. That was a good moment. Anyway, so that's Battle of Fairy Tale. And now,
Last night you watched our last anime club picks of 2024,
that's right. And
and you finished off the year.
yep, I did finish
Yeah,
off.
I think you were the first pick and then the last pick
We
of
will get to
2024.
my first pick because I know.
I just realized that when I was just looking down at my list, like, oh yeah, the first one that was Wade's pick, and these are Wade's pick too.
So I'll go in order because I did a triple feature of Lupin the Third. Because this year we've gotten into a lot of big franchises for Club in 2024. I mean, we've done Fairy Tale, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Persona, and the biggest probably of them all, Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
I mean, of the ones that we've seen,
Yeah.
Lupin the Third is probably like the most
Yeah, I'd say
extensive.
2024 was the year of Lupin for us.
Yeah, definitely. And we watched 3 random movies. And when I say random, I mean I bought these at a convention
For really cheap.
for really cheap.
And when I looked them up, these were TV movies.
yeah, and I bought them on the cheap, and I just showed them. I have plans to show these guys because we're going to do a Lupin panel at UICon, and probably
Whenever they open up their
yeah,
submissions.
and also probably Anime Iowa and Anime Magic. But
Hey, whatever cons we all go to together.
yeah, exactly. But the 3 movies that we watched, well, I guess I'll go in order, just so we're not tripping over ourselves. The first was a film from 1985 called Lupin the Third: Legend of the Gold of Babylon. This one was kind of a stinker,
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
But this one has a very troubled production.
Oh yeah, you were looking it up last night.
Yeah, because I'd seen this one video a few weeks ago. It was the Lupin the Third iceberg, and it's like me and Steven realized that this was one that she had brought up in that video, where they had the director that would later go on to make Angel's Egg
Right,
was involved
yeah.
in this, and the original plot was going to involve finding the corpse of an angel, and then so some crazy heist adventure where eventually Lupin gains self-awareness and realizes he's fictional, and then basically blows up the whole city and dies just because nothing matters.
So I can see why they canned that idea.
They also made Lupin a little bit more middle-aged.
Oh, in the original cut or in the...
Yeah.
In the planning stages of what this movie was supposed to be.
Okay. So I see more. So they were trying to go more realistic for it. The studio...
Basically, if I had to basically put it on a thing, would it be... Oh, God, what movie is... I am blanking on the movie where the guy says I'm too old for this shit.
Oh, Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, basically Lethal Weapon, but from the old guy's perspective.
Okay. Oh, that's actually... That's interesting, but I see why they didn't want to do that for a Lupin the Third tale, because Lupin the Third is very much...
I think, if I remember correctly, I think Monkey Punch actually got involved and said, don't.
Yeah, I can imagine why, because Lupin the Third is very much... and I've mentioned this before on podcasts, he's very much like a classic... Like, not a classic, but like a literary character from the 20th century that you'd see, like James Bond, like Parker, if you've
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Which is kind of funny because they actually did have interactions back then.
And of course the original Arsène Lupin. Like the character is like fixed in whatever time that the story that they happen to be in is set, but the character is the same throughout the different stories, and he has the same group of characters around him,
Had the same group of friends, just always got Zenigata chasing after him.
Yeah, and like all the status quo, the status quo is always reset at the end of the movie so that you can do
Like
the
he
next
wins
one.
big, and then immediately the prize gets taken from him.
Or the
like,
prize turns out to be fake or something.
like,
or
oh well, on to the next adventure.
Mhm. And I really think it works that way. The problem is that because Legend of... I'm just going to say Babylon.
Yeah.
Because I'm not spitting out that whole title over and over again. Or Gold of Babylon. I'll say Gold of Babylon. Because Gold of Babylon had such a troubled production, as I understand, it leads... them trying to course correct, it leads to a movie that is very, very uneven. Like, it feels like we got 4 different scripts.
It has very ADHD energy.
Yes, and to even Oh, go ahead.
So it's like Lupin in New York, and then the New York Mafia's after him. Then there's this old lady that really wants to fuck Lupin.
Yeah.
And then it's a scene where Zenigata has to host a... For some reason, Interpol's doing Miss Universe.
Right. And, he
Well,
gets,
they decided to give Mr. Trump a rest.
and they give Zenigata his own angels, like Charlie's Angels.
Except they're all different country stereotypes.
The Russian was my favorite.
Yeah, the Miss America was just the blonde woman, so I was wearing an American flag bikini.
And
Then Miss China, Miss USSR, Miss Italy, who was literally named Lasagna.
and Miss Africa. think
I
that-
am from every continent in Africa.
Every continent in Africa, you say.
I'm quoting a Vine there.
No. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I know it.
It was like that-
I know what she's
That
quoting.
Raven Simone interview. It's like, I'm from every continent in Africa. There's a lady reading the book. This must be that new geography.
yeah, I remember that one. But
To quote Mr. Mobus, now I got egg in my face.
But so yeah, basically the plot is the New York Mafia, which is run by this guy named Marciano's father was obsessed with finding this ancient treasure, the Tower of Babel. He's trying to find the Tower of Babel.
For Hitler.
Even Hitler.
Yes. It's like,
Oh,
it's like
my
Alexander the Great and Napoleon and even Hitler.
Yeah, they always. So, to give context to that, Marciano's father, one of the people that he worked with to try and find the Tower of Babel, was in fact the Nazis. And
Yeah, that was
A
really
lot
cool.
of
The camera pan going over the fucking flag.
yeah, it was like it was the most hilarious thing because it's like you have the mobsters like digging through the dirt. And the camera just pans over, and you see a swastika flag. Like, holy fuck!
We're doing this again.
Yeah.
What is it with Lupin the Third just always swinging back to the Nazis?
Well, to be fair, I brought this up before because Lupin the Third very much feels like Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
and like in the '80s.
Here, you know what? I have a rant for this after we get through this movie. So.
Oh, okay. But Lupin the Third is very much inspired by stuff like Indiana Jones, in my opinion, and in like not just Indiana Jones, but in movies and shows that were inspired by it, the Nazis were always the bad guys. Nazis are a convenient, bad guy because they just look like they come
like-
straight from a comic book.
Like,
but
what could be worse than our normal bad guy? Nazis.
One camera pan later answers that question. But here's the thing.
Can I just say though?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
go
very
ahead.
disappointed in media that has been dumbed down to Marvel, Nazis, and World War II.
Oh,
Yeah.
because,
That has been everything. We do not go past the 40s if we're trying to look for anything.
oh, I see. You see it as kind of uninventive.
Yeah, well,
It-
yeah.
Just if you need an easy bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. That's one of the few things I like. Speaking
The
of
amount
Indiana,
of times I've been called a Nazi online kind of just dampens that effect, doesn't it?
So, one of the few things I actually liked about that fourth Indiana Jones movie, since we're on Indiana Jones, is that the Russians were great bad guys in that. I wish they had been more developed. But it's a great premise. But in any case, we're getting.
They got Jimmy Neutron brain blasted in that one, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, that's how they killed Kate Blanchett.
But back to Lupin.
Anyway, yeah, back to Lupin. So they find out about the treasure of Babylon, and they decide to go to. They fly from New York to Paris, which is kind of their staging ground to go further to Iraq. But in Paris, Lupin fucking taunts Zenigata through the television.
Neener.
Neener. And Zenigata gets all mad. This was a good night for Zenigata, by the way. The movies we watched, I really liked Zenigata.
Yeah.
In these movies. But anyway, I wrote down kind of plot elements from
I think I drank this a bit too quick.
from the movie. So they end up getting to Paris. They find out more information about what's going on with sort of where the Tower of Babel is. They find out about Marciano's dig site, and then they get.
I will say, I think this is one of Howard Korn's breakout roles.
Oh yeah, Todd Haberkorn was in
Who
this.
did he play? Did he play Marciano?
There's a Chie on it. I cannot tell you which one
I
Chie
think he
was.
might have been one of the goons.
Oh yeah, he was probably one of the goons, but
Okay.
good job, because I couldn't fucking pick out your voice like I can do with everything else.
I will say that when they get to the desert, I think the film picks up quite a bit because they do leave Paris and they do head to.
This is where Miss Soviet or Russia or whatever they call
Yeah.
her was my favorite
When she picked up Zenigata and just crushed her in her boobs.
because
Because it's a loop in the third
it's
movie.
living the third movie and I want it.
It should have been me, damn it.
But anyway,
Into that fucking Yu-Gi-Oh meme. It should have been me, not him. It should have been me.
but yeah, and Fujiko of course gets involved because she's trying to woo Marciano to
And
get a hold of the
seduce
treasure.
Marciano and get the treasure.
Yeah, get the treasure. So she is involved as well. And so
Oh yeah, kind of like how they kind of set up a little romance thing with Goemon and Miss China.
yeah, that was actually pretty funny. I like that.
Probably the most well executed love like couples thing in the movies that they actually did.
Right? Yeah.
And though she's probably never seen again after that.
No.
Mm.
It's kind of like when they married James Bond in that one movie, and at the very end of the movie, this is spoilers, by the way, for a movie from 1969. But
Oh
Right.
no.
69.
the wife of James Bond, played by Diana Rigg, who some of you may recognize from Game of Thrones, she gets killed at the very end.
Marriage and then immediate
Yeah,
death.
right after the
Well,
wedding. I'm not even
Oh,
kidding.
I guess I'm single again.
Yeah.
Well, death to this part.
Exactly. Well, it's actually a quite emotional ending, but you can see why they did it from like a storytelling perspective because they literally wanted to reset everything. But anyway, so they get to Iraq. There's some hijinks of trying to get the treasure of Babylon. Fujiko is there.
Lupin dresses up as Fujiko.
Oh yeah, well that was when they were back in New York, but
No, that was before they left for Babylon initially.
yeah. I meant like back when they were in New York, but eventually they do find out that the treasure is not in Baghdad in kind of a convoluted sense.
Yeah.
Like
It was under Madison Square Garden all along.
yeah, they kind of do a weird ass pull of like, oh, the treasure's not here. It's just we found the map to the treasure, and it's actually back where we found
we
the
just-
original map for
like-
the treasure.
It's like, we found this big-ass gold statue, but that's not the actual treasure we were looking for.
Yeah, the actual treasure is underneath Madison Square Garden. So the crew goes back to New York, and they start harvesting the gold out of there.
Speaking of which, the towers are still in New York in this movie.
Well, yeah, because it was 1985, but then, they have a big battle with the mob. The girl, the old woman, Rosetta, who was trying to screw Lupin the whole time, turns out to be an alien. Aliens built the Tower of Babylon.
Or instructed the people to do it.
Yeah, or instructed people to however you want to see it. The mob is defeated. The aliens fly away. The treasure turns out to be destroyed. The end.
Oh, and Lupin gets Fujiko at the end.
Oh, and Lupin and Fujiko actually do kind of have a running kind of relationship. They have a situationship.
Yes.
And
And-
they've had a situationship since the 60s.
Yeah, right. But in the end, with this movie, Gold of Babylon, I mean, it's got a lot of great ideas in it that like, if you took, like, the core ideas, like, out of this movie and made them, like, their own separate movie, it could have been something, but in the end, it just kind of becomes kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it. Like, it had a lot going for it. It didn't really amount to anything. So this was the
Yeah.
first Lupin property that I ever gave a C tier
Yeah, it's
to.
definitely the weakest of the Lupin media we've seen.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the gold we have from Lupin, there's bound to be some bunk.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, this series is at least the animated stuff of this series has been going on since the 70s.
Yeah, since-
Got to be at least one stinker in there.
Yeah, 1971. This franchise, animated-wise, is 50 years older. And then manga, it's
I think
even older than that.
I think the manga, was like 1969.
Yeah,
Okay.
it competed with Rocket Boy.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, I gave Gold of Babylon a C tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So moving on, then we went to Lupin the Third: Voyage to Danger.
This felt like more of a Bond movie with Lupin characters in it.
Yeah, exactly. Because the villain, who's only named John, he doesn't have like a goofy Bond.
And there's
villain
also Keith.
Watch out for Keith.
name. Yeah, John and Keith are.
I could only think of Hoodwinked.
Right. Oh yeah. Well,
Like, you gotta get a better code name because I can't just say Keith. Well, I gotta watch out for Keith.
yeah, exactly. So what happens is that
It starts with Zenigata crying to Lupin because he got kicked off the Lupin case.
Yeah.
Boy brought in like 4 top shelf fucking liquors.
yeah, and drinks himself blind, but his replacement is Keith,
Who
as
was like an actual hitman,
An actual-
basically Rambo getting
Yeah.
sent after Lupin.
Also, can I say, Fujiko Mine?
yeah. They kept calling her in this movie.
Oh yeah. There's instead of Fujiko Mine, they called her Fujiko Mine. Instead of Daisuke Jingen, Daisuke Jingen.
Yeah, none of the name pronunciations were
I mean,
right.
this was probably before they actually
Actually
had
cared
beef.
about dubbing.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Lupin and Jingen find out that there is this evil organization called Shot Shell, who they hold on to some kind of treasure that they need, or that
Or they're just looking for his cash stash.
they're looking for his cash stash. So they decide
To
Now-
steal a submarine.
and
From Russia.
And also, it's part of the case that Zenigata gets reassigned to, which seems like a much more important case than chasing down Lupin, but whatever.
That's another great Zenigata movie because Zenigata's just part of the team.
Right, yeah. Blood thinks he's part of the team. But anyway, so Zenigata, Lupin, and Jingen... Oh, and, of course, Goemon and Fujiko.
Oh, yeah. And a new girl in it.
Oh, yeah, Karin.
Karen.
Karen. Oh, I haven't...
And she has beef with Jigen.
Yeah, because Karen's father, who was Russian, by the way, got killed by Jingen.
And an apparent setup to get Jinkin killed.
So anyway, right, exactly. So anyway, they steal this submarine. They sail to Hawaii because one of the Hawaiian islands is where
They went to Maui.
is where
They
Shot,
probably had a lot of mahi mahi.
right, where Shot Shell's base of operations is.
No,
Hey,
no.
Mahi Mahi is quite good.
It is good. But I'm saying Shell Shock was actually outside of one of the Southern Pacific islands. And Hawaii was where they just dropped off Zenigata, Goemon, and Karen. So they weren't in the way of what they were doing, trying to get the money.
Okay. Well, anyway, they find John's base of operations. They are initially ingratiated to John, but then John turns on them. Keith shows up and screws up everything. They kind of join forces together to get rid of Lupin and crew. But then what happens? This was actually a pretty fun sequence in the film. Is they steal a bomber and just blow up all of John's stuff. And then Fujiko at the end seduces John, and then just immediately tries to kill.
I'm sorry, a bit of news has crossed across my little page. Social media believes Beyonce has surpassed Michael Jackson as greatest entertainer of all time. LL Lamau.
Anyway, so the way this one ends, trying to remember how this one. The submarine gets blown up with John inside of it.
And Keith.
Right. Karen dies in a shootout. Zenigata gets reassigned to his old case, and the characters kind of go off into the sunset.
I will say, as a Jingan aficionado, this did give Jingan some characterization.
Yes.
That from what we've seen, he's been sorely missing.
Yeah, I'd say this was. I agree with Steven. I would say this was probably the best Jingen movie that we've had.
Yeah. Or it's like Karen just wants to kill Jigen herself, so Jigen just gives her his gun. It's like, okay, shoot me.
Yeah,
Do it.
Do it.
Which is kind of an interesting.
Do it. You won't.
Yeah, which is kind of an interesting play for Jingen in that you can read it a number of different ways. Again, good film for Zenigata. I thought Goemon was kind of sidelined through most of it.
Yeah. Well, they thought he was dead for a good chunk of it, but like, of course he's alive.
Right, of course. Oh, well, of course.
It was because of his sword that the knife didn't stab him all the way.
Right, he used his sword to deflect this knife that was thrown at him by Keith. Who else? Zenigata was good. Fujiko, I thought, had a good role to play in this. I thought she was better in this than she was in Gold of Babylon.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was better than Gold of Babylon, but you know.
True, definitely. And yeah, I liked it more than Gold of Babylon, but it wasn't one of my more favorite
Yeah.
Lupin adventures. I thought it had some good action, like all of these films have good action moments, good character moments, but
I mean, it's gonna be hard for a Lupin movie to top Castle of Cagliostro and Lupin the First.
right, Lupin the Third, the First. So I give Voyage to Danger. I give it like a B tier. I thought it
Same.
was good.
Same.
So that's where we all stand. And then we had our final film of the night, which was Lupin Tokyo Crisis. This one probably had the most coherent plot of all of them because, okay, so the score is set out at the beginning. Like, I can kind of judge how good a Lupin film is going to be based on how
How well the setup is.
well the setup is. And the setup is made clear from the very start.
This is a Zenigata movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
At least a lot of the focus is on Zenigata.
Yeah, Lupin and Jingen are looking for these photographic plates which contain a treasure map to like this samurai lord's treasure. At the same time, Zenigata screws up one too many times and is taken off the Lupin case. And then spends the rest of the movie kind of kicking around with this journalist named
Maria.
Maria, who
You
kind
can
of
see glimpses of the future.
yes, who turns out to be kind of an envoy for the future. But yeah, then the main plot picks up. They find the person who owns these photographic plates, and it turns out he's running a completely different side hustle of making super soldiers. And now they want to take Maria so they can make the superest soldiers of all time.
By harvesting all her cells until she's a skeleton to make them, which is
Yeah, it's
morbid as shit.
It's quite horrific, but fortunately the cops nail him at the end. But this one was better. This was probably the best one we watched last night.
And the only one I can actually activate my cartism on.
Oh right, 'cause there were a lot of good car chases throughout
Yeah.
these movies, but especially Tokyo.
And once
Tokyo
I woke
Crisis.
up, I just opened my messages and just saw Steven message the group chat the make and model of the car from that movie.
I mean, it was a nice car. It was a very nice.
Now
car.
let me tell everyone what the car was. I'm gonna do this before we
Go
do the
for
inside
it.
of the
Just
movie.
go for it.
So at one point in the movie, Lupin opens up his truck and out pops a blue car. The car is a 1973 Alpine Renault 1600S A110. It was France's answer to the rally scene in the 70s, and that car was a mid-engine lightweight car that could just whip through everything and kick everyone's ass.
Perfect for someone like Lupin the Third
Yes.
who needs to make a clean getaway.
Well, he didn't make it clean in that one. No, what happened was the car got to beat the shit and then burnt down.
Yeah.
But
But that's part of the course for
But in
Lupin.
reality, that car was a superstar of its day. It was only produced between 1963 and 1977, and then got a rebirth in 2017.
Okay, cool.
And this movie was
1998.
oh,
So he would have been driving like an antique at that point.
Yes.
right?
Well, it would have been
know,
like
I
20,
was about
30
to-
years old.
I was about to say 73, and then my mind stopped. Like, wait.
Oh wait, he would have been driving. He would have been driving a classic.
Well, depending on what type of year he got that car in. either way, if it's a 73 like I think it is, then yes.
Okay, that's fair.
73 to 98. Yeah, 25 years old, yeah, definitely.
And I will say that a running theme that we've mentioned throughout these movies is that they've largely been Zenigata focused. Like, Zenigata has gotten a lot of stuff to do.
This one was definitely more Zenigata.
Yeah, because both, ironically, the last two of those movies deal with Zenigata being taken off the Lupin case and then just working with Lupin.
Until he gets put back on the case.
Until he gets put back on the case. It's funny, whenever you take Zenigata off of the Lupin case, he becomes like a super effective detective. But the second he's put back on the Lupin case, it's like he loses all of his brain cells. But, yeah, thinking back on Tokyo Crisis, I quite liked it. I thought it really fit into the kind of that late 90s anime aesthetic. The music is great.
Speaking of cartism happens again. The girl who chases the French rally car Alpine is in a Peugeot 206, and that's like the family car.
Wait, who was that? Maria, that's
Maria's red car was a Peugeot 206. No, she never caught that car in real life.
Right, yeah, I was
Dear
gonna
God,
say,
no.
That looks like that looks like a more modern car, wasn't it?
It did. Yeah, it was the 90. It was like the 97 model, I think.
Mm-hmm. And they actually have a really, like, to talk about the climax, they have a really good fight scene on that plane where the plane gets like cut in half by Goemon because of course it would get cut.
Oh yeah, the subplots in this were probably my favorite ones. Goemon lost his sword and Jinken has a toothache.
Yeah, which once his tooth gets bashed out, because Jinken doesn't use his gun for much of this movie because the rattle of the gun is going to hurt his tooth. Once he gets his tooth knocked out, it's like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Once his tooth gets knocked out, he just starts blowing people.
He like, oh, I've been in this like 90-minute movie and it's like the last 20 minutes. Need to make up for lost time.
Yeah, and just starts shooting everyone.
And then I started blasting.
Yeah, then I started blasting. But, yeah, the movie ends with bad guy basically being arrested, his entire super soldier thing getting impounded, kind of, by the police. But guess what? The photographic plates that basically kicked this whole thing off turned out to be fakes. And then they just never got the treasure. And then,
when the treasure was a jail cell in the fucking police station.
Yeah, they tried to find the treasure, but it turned out to be beneath the police station, and Zenigata was there with his boys. Like, you're under arrest, Lupin.
Did you really think this was going to be a thing?
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought that was a pretty fun ending. This one was definitely my favorite of the night, but not one of my more favorite Lupin movies. Like, it's a perfectly good Lupin the Third adventure, and definitely the best one, I say, that we watched that night.
Yeah, I'd
give it a low A tier.
Yeah, high B.
It does get an A- from me.
Okay. Yeah, not
we're
exactly.
gonna pull that because I'm gonna actually amend my Fairy Tail thing right now. I'm gonna say Fairy Tail gets an A- as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Just as a whole series.
So yeah, that's where we're at with our that was our last full anime roundup of 2024, and now we get to talk about basically everything that we.
But before we get into that, I have some announcements to make.
Ooh.
Yep. So, as you may well know, not may well know, us in the background have been talking to a few artists. We've had artists do channel backgrounds, profile pictures, and of the like. We are going to do some, in the new season, this is the season finale for season 4, because,
Season 3.
4,
Yes, finale for 3.
I guess. Because this is going to be on the 5, but anyway, so this little last season of ours, in the next one, I'm going to have a link tree set up. I'm going to have where you can donate to the Venmo. You can donate to the Imperial if you so choose, which I haven't seen new ones. If there have been new ones, I haven't seen any because GoFundMe is being a little bit finicky for me right now. But I'm also going to start setting up a Teespring and a, what's that, it's like a
Redbubble.
Redbubble. And I'm gonna start getting or start selling our shirts, some polos, some sweaters, stickers, maybe mugs if I get convinced. And we're gonna start selling some stuff online. Yeah. So we're gonna start setting that up, and once that is up, I will update. The season 5 will have that update with the link tree to all of our stuff, and so we will pretty much be more of an official unit as we go along. So feel free to. I mean, I know it's in the new year, and I can't say any Christmas specials because nothing's up yet. But as soon as we get that up, I will start, middle, and end pretty much the next season we have. Excuse me. The next season we have, I will make sure everything is up and running, and you should be seeing that pretty quick. This will be coming out. This episode will more likely be coming out on the 31st, just so you guys are aware for the new year. Yeah, we should be getting this stuff done pretty quick. And yeah, make sure to keep an eye out. I will definitely again post Linktree with our Redbubble, Teespring, and the like. So that way you can buy our shirts, sweaters, polos for golf stuff, which I still need to post. Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to say again. Sorry about not posting too much golf stuff. Your boy got distracted by college,
which is a very understandable Everyone here will forgive you for, saying, instead of you took time to do your schoolwork instead of uploading us sucking at golf for 4 hours.
And I still need to edit all of those clips together. Oh man, Vegas is gonna be a cunt. Anyway, yeah, still need to get some help from. If you guys want to go check out another, the guy who's been helping me out, helping me set up Vegas is Snowy Karama on YouTube. That's my older brother. Check him out, please.
Oh, yo, that's Thomas.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is, boy. Yeah, please go check him out if you're more into Pokemon battles and such. Yeah.
Yeah, we like. Oh, hey, Porygon. Context: I just pulled a Porygon out of their box of plushies, but yeah, we like.
Gotta have some Porygon merch because I'm epilepsy.
Anyway.
But yeah, he will. He's been helping me out with Vegas, and will help me out again once I get the YouTube format set up. I will definitely be churning out episodes. But hopefully, I'll get this episode and the episode we last recorded out by the end of the month. So we'll get that all together. And yeah, again, we will set up Teespring, Redbubble. I'll get a Linktree set up. We all should be rolling. You can have your favorite off the balcony merch for probably $25.99, and then we'll have a good time. But now on to our 2024 year in review.
And folks, we are seeking to go bigger and better with every year that we do this. I mean, keep in mind we've had kind of a rocky start, but now we're really finding our footing, and we just love doing this.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is just us getting together and kind of talking about the anime that we love. Or the anime we didn't love. Like, just kind of, it's really just meant to have a conversation.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of combines the two things we all really love together. Watching anime together and talking up on stage hosting panels together about the things we like.
Yes, exactly. Like, I can't tell you how many panels I've just built out of, like, okay,
I just want to talk about this thing.
Yeah, it's like, what anime have we watched this year? Okay, we can build a panel around that.
Like, what things do I like that I can yap about for an hour?
Yeah, and speaking of stuff that we like to yap about, the funny thing about this year is this is the first year. I mean, keep in mind it's only been in my life for only about 3 years now. 3 years come February or March, that we haven't really talked about a Love Live property on this podcast. Like 2022,
and I think literally the only Love Live thing that we were able to watch this year was, I mean, besides some of the live concerts, was Nijion Season 2.
Right, yeah, which we'll talk about Nijion, or give more of our nebulous thoughts on.
The Love Live Superstar Season 3 did just finish up, so my first pick of 2025 is going to be Superstar Season 3.
So yeah, if you were missing on some of that good Love Live content in 2024, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot to talk about. in 2025.
And come in January, the first Nijigasaki movie should be hitting streaming.
Yeah, and we're...
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's get on with our year-end review of anime that we watched, starting with the worst show we saw all year.
Do you want to just read things off the list as it comes down?
Yeah. Just
We could just skip them if we don't have any thoughts that we haven't talked about.
Well, what was the worst show that we watched this year? I'll give you a hint. It was the first show that we watched this year.
And the only show that we have given up on as a club.
Our only DNF
Yeah.
did not finish.
Yeah. We have Studio Keys L Rewrite.
I literally, unless you had written it, I mean, I have it in D tier on my tier list, but if you had not made this 2024 list, I would have totally forgotten when we watched this. Not like we watched this in 2023 or 2020 or whatever. I would have forgotten when this fit into the broader timeline of our anime watching adventures.
Yeah,
the only reason I want to point this out, the only reason we watched this was because of our key panel.
Yeah. So we wanted to watch every Studio Key anime that's been out since we're going to host the panel about it. And yeah, I think we decided to give up watching it after one episode we realized we have no idea what the fuck's going on here anymore, do we?
Yeah, we did. It was supposed to be a 2-weeker because it's a 24-episode anime. We did the first week, and I was like, and then I told the guys when we started the anime the next week, I'm like, guys, if it doesn't get better after, say, 3, maybe 4 episodes...
You said 6.
Did I say 6?
You said 6.
Well, I was...
bold of you to remember that far back.
I buried the memory with alcohol, and alcohol is unlocking the memory.
If I said 6, then I apologize. I meant 3 because I was like, look, if this doesn't get better soon,
yeah.
we'll do something else.
Yeah.
We'll watch a concert. We'll do YouTube time. I don't care what we do.
Probably said 3 at first, and then just kind of held on to Cope.
Yeah. Well.
And then Cope ran out.
Yeah, I was like, all right, fuck it.
The copium ran dry.
We're gonna listen to Nico and Glorb for the rest of the night and drink, because this show sucked. I mean, it had kind of a cool idea, like kind of doing a nature-based sort of show.
Here's what I'm gonna say. You know how we were talking earlier about Fairy Tail and the presentation kind of fucking up the story bits?
Sure, yeah.
This is basically just what happens if you don't know how to actually do a storyboard and you just go with it anyway.
Yeah, it felt like there was a lot of shooting from the hip on this, and a
like
lot of...
I like time travel can be an interesting aspect if you make it fresh. Nature
can be an interesting aspect if you make it fresh as well.
This one was basically just the rotten onion at the back of the lot.
So I don't know, and it hasn't even improved thinking, because we didn't even finish it. And the first arc was supposed to be super emotional. I just remember it being bizarre. And I was like, fuck, I should have just dropped...
Is there something about a girl being sick and not having her memories, and then there's the grandpa, it's like telling her, like, no, keep her that way?
Yeah, I should have dropped it after the first week, but for some reason I guess we got some fun, drunk YouTube time out of it.
Yeah.
So, I guess there's that. So, yeah. We started Lupin the Third this year. We kind of already gave our thoughts on Lupin the Third.
It has changed our brain chemistry.
Yeah. We watched the first movie of Lupin the Third, Castle Cagliostro. I mean...
Miyazaki strikes again?
Miyazaki's first movie. Absolutely knocks it out of the park. I would almost consider it the perfect Lupin the Third adventure.
Yeah.
Because of just how fun it is and how well...
And apparently this movie actually did kind of inspire the Disney Renaissance.
Oh, really?
John Lasseter really loved this movie.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, because before he was disgraced, him and Miyazaki spent a lot of time together. So, that makes sense. So, yeah, Castle Cagliostro, great. We started another franchise. It's much smaller, but it's still no less important. We watched the Wake Up Girls movie early in the year as well.
Yeah, that was a franchise I really wanted to start really diving into this year, but only got to the first movie and the first series before getting distracted by other things.
But since it was your pick, why don't you tell us what you thought of it, and we'll give our own sort of thoughts on it, too.
And I liked its approach. feel like it's kind of a bit of a darker Love Live,
Yeah,
except for being school idols. It's the actual idol industry.
I will say I like the show aspects of it more than I like the music. I don't think the music's bad,
Yeah.
by the way. I
Yeah,
think-
there's like that one song they do at the end of the movie. I listen to that song. It's like on its own pretty often, and I can't really name a lot of the other songs from
yeah.
they've seen
And
from it.
I remember more like how it kind of shows off the bad parts of the pop industry, because there are some pretty uncomfortable scenes, especially in the not so much in the movie, but in the show there are some pretty uncomfortable scenes, because it's like, well, that's kind of what the pop industry can be at its worst.
I do like how they
Yeah.
can also trick managers too.
Oh yeah, like that poor manager guy. Like he didn't even want to.
That poor guy just got saddled with someone with gambling debts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how I feel like the show kind of is self-aware a bit that it's a knockoff Love Live, because like, in the first movie, like the reason they even decide to, the company decides to even make an idol group, because like we're about to go under, we need something that can sell. Just turns on the TV, there's an idol group. Like, let's make an idol group.
Yeah,
It just feels like what every studio was trying to do once Love Live got big. It's like, okay, we need an idol franchise now.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, remember, was Wake Up Girls the one that said was the guy saying I started idols because 9/11?
Yeah.
Yes. That's in our
Anime when my parents walk in.
yeah, which is like, why are idols important? It all began on 9/11.
Began on September 11th when a tragedy struck New York.
Which I've watched that scene so many times. I'm still not sure what the linkage is between 9/11.
I remember first watching that scene. I was like, it started September 11th. Like, oh no, you're not. No, you're not doing this.
now, maybe
Another
it's-
one to the 9/11 MCR domino
Yeah.
iceberg.
It's like now, maybe they were talking about the release of Nickelback's Silver Side Up.
Maybe.
That one Slipknot album.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's Glitter.
Oh, that POD. The one
yeah.
that, you know what song was a
It's like-
featured single off of that album?
Youth of the Nation.
Yes, but also Here Comes the Boom. Oops.
Wow, that went wrong.
Yeah. Imagine hearing that on the radio to work, and then you just look up like, oh damn, there's the boom. Anyway, yeah. To be serious though, Wake Up Girls I did think was good. I think I gave it like a modest, like sort of B tier. I may have even given it an A tier, but
Yeah, it's B tier for me.
but like there's nothing really bad about it. It's just like the characterization that like what makes Love Live so good are the characters. I'm pointing to the Nezzos
Yeah.
in the room here. You have great characters.
Which corner?
Well, okay, both of them. You have Honak.
There's one more behind you.
Yeah, it was-
I only have 2 arms. Anyway, you have, Honoka, Kotori, Reen, Hanyo, Nozomi. You have all of these great characters in pretty much all of the Love Live shows.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I have trouble. I can name some of the characters from Wake Up Girls, like Minami is one.
There's Mayu, Yoshino, and
Yeah,
I
Yoshino.
think Miyu and Kaio, like my favorite ones. And then I just
I like
realized one
Miyu.
time there was like one of the main characters of the movie was Airi, which just a bit ago I was just looking at the Wake Up Girls character list, like, oh yeah, I completely forgot Airi existed.
She was in the show, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like that one girl. They had the whole arc where the producer guy wanted to kick her out of the group.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that Love Live does really good is characterization. Like they're really effective at like making these characters likable in a short amount of time. It's not that the characters in Wake Up Girls are unlikable. It's just I don't really feel they're as defined as like say the Love Live characters. So like I said, I give the franchise overall a B tier. I understand that there's more. There are more shows and movies to Wake Up Girls, and hopefully we'll return to that in
Yeah.
2025.
I think there's another season of anime, one of those little chibi series too, and like 2 other movies.
Okay, so more likely than not, we will return to that series in 2025. But as it stands now, it's good, just not anything sort of mind-blowing. But I do like it for sort of some of the chances that it took. Let's see, what did we... So Wake Up... Oh, Steven! The next... How we kicked off Love Month was your pick, and I think one of my personal favorite shows that we watched this year was Buddy Daddies.
You did it.
Yeah.
This one was a complete asshole because one of the shows I wanted to watch I couldn't find, so I'm like, fuck this one.
What's funny about that is I had the exact same thing happen. I wanted to show Hannah Shinkai movies because they're very romantic for like Love Month and everything. And what happened was I got snowed in, so we couldn't do club that year. Traditionally, so I couldn't actually, because I was living in a different place at the time. So instead, what I showed you guys was Comey Can't Communicate, because I saw that was a new popular anime, and it turned out to be like a really, like, I mean, it was a show so good that I showed it twice. So anyway, I'm happy that happened to you as well, because it's like, hey, that turned out to be one of the best things you showed us.
Also, just like Canon, this was one of the ones I saw from shorts.
Oh, okay. But why don't you explain what Buddy...
So Buddy Daddies is like a kind of like two, like I'd say kind of kindergarten cop.
Yeah, like two hitmen.
Two career criminals, basically.
Accidentally kidnap a girl.
Well, no, they accidentally kill the girl's father in front of her, but she's not old enough to realize it.
Yeah, or even knows that it's her father. But well, I guess she did know that it was her father. But they basically take the little girl as
I think she ends up thinking one of the assassin guys is her real dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the two hitmen, their names were like Kazuki and
Kazuki and Ryo.
Yeah, Rio. They take little Miri as their sort of charge, and they really grow to love this little girl, and it's a really sweet show, and it's also a really fucking violent show for a show that's like billed as kind of like a, because I think I saw a lot of...
this aired around the same time as Spy Family, so a lot of people, like even me included, just kind of wrote this one off as just a knockoff Spy Family.
But no, there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's more family drama. Like, you learn why the mother gave up Miri, and then you see the mother try to come back and make amends.
Only because she's dying of cancer.
Yeah. And then, like, there's a hitman in there. Steven, you know who Richard Kokinski is?
Kind of.
The Iceman.
Yeah.
That's who the hitman in this reminded me of. Like, just this weird, almost, like, kind of, quote, Suicide Squad. A serial killer who takes credit cards sort of character. But yeah, the action was fantastic. I know I put it in my S tier for that screening, which kind of chafed with Hannah, because it's like she's been with the club far longer, and it took her longer to get an S tier out of it.
2 S tiers, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
back
There's
to
4
back
months.
with Canon and Buddy Daddies.
Yeah. So I think I didn't even get an S tier until I showed you guys Promare, which was like 2 years of me being in the club.
Yeah, right. Well,
4 month speed one. Let's go. Get good.
But hey, Promare was awesome, and also Darling in the Franxx sucks. So know your place.
Yeah, at least
I should know my place because I picked Rewrite.
at least I never showed you guys Darling in the Franxx, so that's a W for me.
That's true. That's true.
I showed you guys Dream Me to Marry. My first intro to this club was a D tier, alright?
After
I know what I was doing.
I introduced you with Girl Who Leapt Through Time, and it's like, okay, Steven, pick something, and then you throw this shit at me. Kidding. I mean, it's a fun. It's fun that it's like the crux.
Hey,
of the
you guys love John Smith, alright? That's all I can say.
I did like John,
because it was Chris Ayers.
Yes.
and it became the crux of a very successful panel. So there's that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, not showing up at Amkey this year. Crying real tears.
Yeah, Angst and Regret was the one panel we submitted that didn't make the cut.
Hey, you icon.
Yep.
Let's bounce back. Anyway, so moving on, Buddy Daddies, of course, S tier. What are you,
Yep,
Yeah,
S tier.
S tier.
And then
Especially
this...
because that ending was like, it kind of reminded me of like Die Hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the next anime up on our list is probably my biggest surprise of the year.
Endo and Kobayashi Live. This is probably the best show that Heather has ever shown us.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking cute.
And it's given us so many memes.
Yeah.
So
I've made a mistake.
Yes. So that picture is the cover for the golf playlist on our channel.
Right, I made a mistake, because what else can you say to yourself as soon as your ball leaves the face of your club and starts to slice? I made a mistake.
Or me when you try to overcompensate with your driver and it starts to hook.
Or when it went straight into fucking traffic. Anyway.
or my favorite one when we were at Fairview with Thomas for the first time and it just shot straight into the wild grass. Ironwood. Yeah.
Oh, right. That was an interesting day. But anyway, so yeah, just to refresh, the plot of that show is it focuses on like
Endo and Kobayashi are two kids that they're playing this dating sim.
This fantasy dating sim, and like the two characters, Siegfried, and
Lily's thing.
I know how to say Lielza or
Lisabelle.
Yeah, Lisabelle.
They can actually hear the players' voices.
Yeah, and it leads to a lot of fun comedy, but also like Lisa. I'm just gonna call her Lisa. Lisa and Sieg actually are like a really loving. Grow to really, really love each other.
I think this is another one where like the girl that's supposed to be a villain in the game becomes the hero because I think Endo was the girl that she's playing the game, and it's like she's like Lisabelle's like her favorite character, so
yeah.
I think she just wants Lisabelle to be loved. So and the Siegfried in the game is hearing her voice like, oh, so she must be a really nice girl after all.
Well, she's not even a villain. She's like the Tsundere, which leads to a lot of good comment. Like,
apparently, in the how the game works is if if you ignore her or she doesn't get what she wants, she just turns into an evil demon.
Mm.
And they're trying to prevent that ending.
I didn't realize that, but what's funny is that Heather, who picked the show, showed me a lot of frames from the manga, and like when Lisa acts like a tsundere, there's like a frame of Sieg going like, what the hell? That's cute. And it's like, so yeah, they basically break game conventions to make this really loving couple kind of happen. And in the meantime, the two high schoolers who are playing the game fall in love with each other as well. It's a very cute show. The ending was not even like stupid. It was just so ridiculous. It was fun.
Yeah.
Because apparently Adam and Eve were trying to get back together. I don't know, dude. Fucking off.
Yeah. Well, but it ended really nicely. And the epilogue was nice, too, where Lisa and Sieg get married, and
then Endo and Kobayashi show up
and Endo and Kobayashi show up to the wedding.
The wedding? Like, funeral, buddy!
Hold up. My bad. Hold up. I need to read the manual. Anyway.
Shit.
But, like, the main girl that you're actually supposed to fall in love with in this game, she actually has a cute arc, too, because she ends up finding that she likes this blacksmith guy.
Yeah.
And that ends up being, like, a fun little, like, subversion, too. The show's just super cute. And also, I remember we watched it right before we went to Topgolf, so that was fun. Because it was the dead of winter. Well, yeah, it was the dead of winter, golf courses being open. We're still about a month out, so we had
a hankering.
Yeah, it was like either Top Golf or bust. Anyway,
sorry, guys. I had to. I'm sorry.
That was a good one.
I know that just broke my head for a bit there.
How many classic phrases have been ruined by either millennials or Zoomers or both?
Hi, I'm a Zoomer, technically.
Hi, I'm a millennial. Anyway, so Endo and Kobayashi Live, great show. Give it an A tier.
Yeah, it's definitely a show because video game isekai type shows I already have very low expectations for, but yeah, that one's probably my biggest surprise hit of the year.
Yeah, so it was good. I don't know if I'd want the show to continue because I think they had the perfect ending, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, it deserves more viewers.
Right.
Be talked about a bit more.
So I'm going to speed past this other one. Well, actually, no, I did like the show. Little Busters.
Oh yeah, it's one where I know there's a second season of it that we should watch.
Yeah, Little Busters is very much kind of a paint by numbers key show,
Yeah.
in the sense that
I did like Greg Ayers voicing the dumb beefy guy.
yeah, that was a fun little subversion. But
And
overall,
then the Russian girl.
the Russian girl
Yeah,
plot,
apparently the Russian girl who's so popular she has her own video game.
right? It's very weird, as key shows tend to be. Honestly, it's just. You don't have like any of the great characterization that Clannad had, or any of the great emotional beats. Like,
Yeah, though I think the season 2 of it's kind of like the Clannad after story, where that's where a lot of the romance and sad bits.
okay,
There.
well, we might try again with. I think it's called Little Buster's Reprise or something.
Reprise, yeah.
I think so.
But as it stands now, it's a fun show. Like, I'd give it a watch.
It has a great OP.
Yeah, it does have a great OP.
One of the most metal OPs I've ever heard from a Key show.
It's got a lot of humor to it, like pretty much all Key shows do. But yeah, I don't really have any strong feeling. I gave it a B tier when it was over. So
Same.
So yeah, that's where I stand. The next one though is you would have been after me at this point. So
Oh yeah, this is one I picked because I had the DVD for it.
Right.
It's my Love Month pick.
Ore Monogatari.
Yeah.
Here.
Or in English, My Love Story.
It was a very cute show.
Yeah, I think we all came out with very good opinions on that one.
Yeah, to give a little bit of a plot synopsis, there's this dude who's like 6'8" or 6'20". I can't tell in the show. And this girl awkwardly fall in love but become the cutest couple alive.
Yeah, this big giant of a man and tiny girl.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of
and
that.
He is the most gentle giant ever.
Yes. And I kept fucking thinking of, what was it, that little train scene from Drawn Together?
And I kept thinking of that picture of the hamster eating a banana.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it's just that, that little... Yeah, or...
Just
Yeah,
talking
it
about
just,
Ori Monogatari.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Did you mention that what was the big guy's name again?
Oh, Takeo.
Yeah, Takeo. Did you mention he's played by Chris Love?
Oh yeah.
Takeo from Clannad.
Yeah, and we didn't mention that, but yeah, that is.
I was making the joke of the relationship just being that little train scene from Drawn Together.
Oh.
I apologize for the noise.
That one picture of the hamster eating a banana.
Yeah.
That train going in and out, in and out, in and out, and that small tunnel just forced its way through.
It's supposed to be wholesome.
Technically, it is wholesome.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway,
You're making me do the face of this Bochi Nesso.
Oh, you're laughing.
Got
got the
Bochi,
whole squad laughing. Anyway, who's the best friend in that? Who's Takeo's best
Oh,
friend?
Suna.
Suna, what a fucking G that guy is.
That guy is
He's
like top
Re-
tier.
Rejects every single girl that asks him out because he knows she talked shit about his best
Yeah,
friend.
it's like he's a real he's the real living embodiment of as Lil Wayne once said, these hoes ain't loyal.
Bros before hoes.
Yeah, bros before hoes. But I wanted to bring up Suna because the way that Takeo and what was the girl's name?
I forget her name.
No, but
She's like red hair.
fell a lot.
Yeah, it felt well.
Right here, I'm looking up now.
That's a lot of them. Is
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, Suna.
I just like a scene of her. But
Rinko.
Rinko. So yeah, Suna. So what Suna does, because he's tired of going on all these awkward situations to try and get Rinko to go on a date with Takeo, he's like, I'm done with this. Takeo is running me ragged, so Suna brings Rinko into his room and hides Takeo underneath the bed. And
It's like, so Rinko, what do you think of Takeo?
and
Eventually just brings out the, I love him.
and it's like, how do you feel about Takeo?
I love him.
Could you say it one more time for the
I
people?
love him.
Could you say it really fucking loudly?
Okay, Takeo, you can come out now.
Yeah, and then Takeo comes out from under the bed, and
Are you sure?
yeah.
If Steven just broke us all by holding up a picture of Jack
Who's
Frost.
Jack and their fraud?
As Jack Frost from Persona. Who up Jack
we'll
and
get
Frost?
we'll get to Persona pretty soon.
But anyway,
Hee-ho.
so that's where their relationship really kind of kicks off, and it's a really cute show throughout. The only thing I didn't like about Ore Monogatari is kind of the ending, where like the pretentious baker sort of shows up.
He's trying to take Takeo's girl.
Take Takeo, even though Rinko makes it clear that she has no intention of leaving Takeo,
Yeah.
and it's just like needless kind of feel bad.
Takeo should have beat his ass. Anyway,
Yeah, but
He's too much of a soft, good boy to do it.
I mean, he is strong though, because he can hold up like a whole pile of steel.
Yeah. So I do like the whole arc of Takeo's mom having a baby. So I do like
yeah.
just the random things like Takeo's mom would say, like I lifted up a woman and dragged her to the hospital while I was in labor for you.
It's like, damn, I see where the strength comes from. But yeah,
And they mentioned that Takeo's mom was a pro wrestler,
right.
and then his dad is just some normal guy.
Yeah, well, pro wrestling in Japan goes hard.
the
But
dad said I could climb that, and he did.
yeah, he sure did.
I know why the dad size reminds me of the dad from the Brack Show. Like that
Oh,
the-
yeah,
tiny little Cuban guy.
right. So yeah, my thoughts on Ore Monogatari, I gave it an A tier. Very, very cute show. Very lovely.
Yeah.
Definitely something you can put on for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, very wholesome rom-com.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Oh, this one, Persona 5. We watched Persona 5, the animation. And can I just say that as someone who had not really experienced, I kind of missed the boat on Persona 5 and kind of Persona in general. Like, it never really came across, like, my radar or anything. But watching it purely as, like, the anime and having it verified that this is a good representation of the games from U2 and from my girlfriend, I really loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really fantastic. I was like, holy fuck, it was this good? and well, it's not like you guys never told me, it's that I never told me.
And it's like, yeah, we had actually never seen the anime either before this, just scenes from YouTube, and like I had played Persona 5 Royal back in like 2020 or 2021, and then
Steven did
Yeah.
3 run-throughs.
Yeah. yeah, I had Steven I bought the game for Steven and had Steven play it, and he's actually 100%ed, got all the achievements on it he did a 1 playthrough and then like 2 new game pluses.
Yes.
So, where I'm standing...
Your boy did 300 hours in Persona 5 and got the platinum.
I had none of that. So I had no Persona 5 gameplay. My only really exposure to Persona 5 was I knew who Joker was. I didn't even realize what his real name was. And I knew Futaba, because Futaba is a very popular cosplay.
And before we go
girl.
too far into it, I know the people who do the Persona, well, whatever the Ultimania is. I know Ultimania from Kingdom Hearts because that type of nerd. But whoever did like the Persona 5 Ultimanium, whatever version that's called, the actual they actually came out with the real names of each Persona character, and for Persona 5. Joker's name is Ren Amamiya.
Yeah, Ren Amamiya is now the canon
The
one,
canon name.
not Akira Kurosu.
Probably because of Strikers, if I had to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
because they introduced the character in Strikers named Akira,
Oh, okay.
or Akira.
yeah.
So yeah, so if I get flack from Persona fans, great. This is my first introduction to Persona, and let me tell you, you shouldn't be mad at me because I love the fucking anime.
Yeah.
So we're not even gonna go over the plot or do like I said. I'll just say what my reactions are. I really love the characters. I loved like the set design of the different called palaces, right?
Yeah.
Old man moments here. I love the palaces. I especially love Futaba's palace because I just kind of have a hard on for ancient Egyptian type stuff. I loved all the characters. Haru is my best girl.
I don't think I remember Wade said he liked the background music in the Free Talk Spouse, and I was just staring at not knowing the name of the song. It's called
When My Mother Was There.
Oh, okay. That was a good track, though. It's oddly political. I was talking to Steven about this in the car. It's oddly more political than I ever would have expected. Like, I did not expect the end to turn into, like, all the President's Men with, like, anime cosplayers. Which is funny because you fast forward to the end of Persona 5, the anime, and they end up having to shoot God in the face.
Yeah, shoot God in the face on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, which that's fun.
Or if you played Royal, you punch Maruki until you guys pass out.
You beat up your therapist.
And I will say, I was talking to Steven about this in the car. Part of me, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts, part of me of why this anime has gotten somewhat of a negative reaction, not from like general audiences, but people who are familiar with Persona 5, is because this anime, in the purpose of streamlining it, so it's basically a 28 episode anime with like a 2-hour movie at the end. The reason that they're mad at it is because it takes out a lot of like the sort of side stuff that gave Persona its unique, like the romance options, like the social links.
Okay,
a lot of the palace exploration gets a bit streamlined to just the important bits.
I'll pause right here. There is an episode, the variant that I never showed you, and it was about, because this is a Japanese only release, so I didn't bother with it.
Was it the Valentine's Day
episode? The Valentine's Day episode where they do all the romance.
Oh, okay.
And yes, that's about as funny as you think it is.
Does it end with
he does the harem ending?
That's something I know from the video game, because these guys
showed me the video.
Where it's like, where it ends with like, I don't even know how you can do this in the video game, but like, you can date everyone at once.
So you can date everyone at once if you choose to, and if you ignore all the messages on Valentine...
Just hang out with Ryuji instead.
Holy shit!
Just ignore all the messages. I'll get back to it later.
Yeah, and then the day after Valentine's Day, they all show up at LeBlanc and beat you up. They beat up Joker, and then Joker's phone blips. And then he looks down at his phone, and it's a text from Ryuji saying, "So did the chocolate I got from my mom count as Valentine's Day chocolate?" And then Joker just flops down dead again.
The best comedy writing couldn't even get close to that. Anyway, so you didn't show us that episode. That's fine, because
and that's already the best bit anyway.
Yeah. So that's my feeling that that why people kind of turn against the Persona 5 anime is because it takes out some of the stuff that people love from the video game.
You were telling me you watched someone play through it.
Yeah, I watched, I believe Shifrilus.
Oh yeah, Shifrilus ranking all the Confidant.
Not just that, but I think he was, like, streaming with someone else.
Oh, nice.
Persona 5, and I got a better sense of what this game is like. And I love the concept. Like, I really do. I think it's a unique way to do, like, gameplay. I think the game mechanics are kind of cool. I love the characters are still great, except Sai. I didn't fucking hate Sai, man. Which is funny because her, her palace, her in the palace. Yeah,
the casino design was cool.
The casino design was cool, and it's a great vocal performance. It's just the character is so stupidly written that I just couldn't get around it. But
yeah, trying to do like a. Oh god, whatever fucking movie does like all those like backtracks and Ocean's 11, this type of shit. It's like, it was certainly a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen movies like that do sort of things in flashback. Like a good example of it is, have you ever seen Inside Man?
Yes.
Inside Man does something like that, where it's like you have Denzel Washington and Chiwetel Ejiofor interviewing people about the incident that is happening in the movie after it has already happened. Like, it all centers around a bank robbery in New York. And they're kind of interviewing people, but they already know what's happened. they're just trying to get more evidence out of these citizens of New York. Sai just is like kind of stupid.
Especially when you tell her how you fucked Makoto for 40 hours of the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like
That's a
all
meme,
of
everyone. You don't actually say that in the game.
Yeah, so just all the stories. It's like up until it catches up, it's like
Right.
to Sai's Palace, where it's like it's all taking place in like telling Joker to like remember, tell me everything that's happened. So
you
just
also
imagine
tell her
like
about
once
the-
it gets like the Makoto romance stuff, just imagine just Joker just telling Sai just about every detail about his relationship with her sister.
Oh, that's funny.
Which has also spawned like 21 Jump Street, or was it 22 Jump Street?
Trump 22 Jump Street.
Oh,
where's
with
the
Ice
Chief,
Cube.
Big Chief's daughter.
Oh,
The
yeah,
captain's
and
daughter.
Joker for the prosecutor's sister.
Oh, when Icy, yo, come on, fill me up. Y'all got green beads up in this bitch. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I mean, I really appreciate. I know it was your pick, but I know that you two had talked about like wanting to show me Persona 5 in a way that would be like more conducive to like, how I would
Yeah.
be. And I really loved it. I really fell in love with this.
Yeah, I think if we could do a lot of game stuff here, then we'd probably make you actually play Persona 5, and I think Steven would want you to play Kingdom Hearts too.
I would love to play Kingdom Hearts. I really would. It's
You know, honestly, we keep saying it, we both have times. Speaking of games, Hannah and I have recently picked up Strikers.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Strikers.
And Steven is now doing his new game plus of that.
Yes.
So it's a lot shorter than
It is a
mainline
lot
Persona
shorter,
5.
and it's also a lot more my speed, because I'm more of like an action RPG guy, so just doing like because in Persona 5 and Royal, it's a turn-based system, where you do your hits and then the enemy does their hits.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
one's
play games like that, by the way.
This one's more action type, where you can actually just control.
It's like the mobs are coming at you, and you gotta just keep
mow
swinging.
them down.
Yeah, I will say that I don't usually like turn-based games, but for Persona 5, I would be willing to make an exception.
Yeah, Persona
I mean,
5
think-
is an exception for me
just
too.
kind of as a Civ player, then think I'm just more used to turn-based.
So with I will say,
The degenerate Civ player.
as a caveat, I have seen gameplay of Persona 5 Royal. I would say that the anime like fan in me wishes that more of like what went into Persona 5 was actually in this anime.
Okay, well, we'll say about the anime. I do like how they had the Yusuke arc about going to the church and doing the Passion of Christ. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was
they
funny.
did the Yusuke church scene, but sadly we didn't get Makoto beep boop.
We did not get Makoto beep boop. That actually did make me sad.
Oh,
And if
speaking
I
of,
ever meet Jeremy Lay, I'm just gonna say beep boop to her, and
they,
hopefully that works.
They did do the on balloon
Yeah.
Yes.
where they put on and like all
so,
of these.
by the way, An, did you gain weight recently?
And she's just, and it's like she's not even fat. She's just wearing like 60.
Like all of her clothes?
Yeah, just I
Well, she-
can't put my arms down.
she has to create time.
Right.
It's like distracting Yusuke. It's like, okay, I'll do the nude drawing while Morgana's trying to pick a lock.
Yeah, and also it's something that I know, and I know I'm gonna sound weird. Morgana did not piss me off as much as you game players would have, and I know why that is, because they toned down Morgana's
Annoyingness.
in the anime from the video game. And I will say that in the anime, toning down of the annoyingness might have almost been a detriment, because I can hardly remember anything about Morgana in the anime. He's just kind of there. It's like I was watching Steven and Hannah like kind of grouse and bitch about Morgana. I was like, what the fuck? He's just
He's
there. And then it's like they explained to me like what he's like in the video game, and I was like,
He's about he's
okay.
about as racist as Frieza. Let's put it that way.
yeah, I heard about that, and like he's like weirdly
horny for An.
wants to fuck on, like, and that actually,
My boy, you're a spirit created by Igor to guide the trickster through to the Velvet Room.
And you're in the body of a cat.
yeah. But overall, like looking at the anime as a whole, I know how I felt about it. I thought it was a really good like story. Like I really enjoyed it. To reiterate, since you guys have played the games, what are your thoughts on the anime as a whole?
And I really liked it. It does not deserve the hate it gets.
I can tell because I've seen other video game to screen adaptations. I can tell why people get angry. Like,
Sure.
say, I'm gonna base this off Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter, The Prisoner of Azkaban was the longest book. But do you know what happened in the movie? It is the shortest movie.
Right, yeah.
And that's what I feel like people have gotten PTSD from that happening, and then when they saw that happen, kind of happened to the Persona 5, because they didn't include every little aspect of it and stuff it into the show. I kind of see what happened there, but honestly, guys, cool your jets. It covers the main beats, which is what the anime is supposed to do.
Let's not forget, this is a 28 episode
Like-
anime with a 2-hour movie.
24 episode anime with a
Yeah, the last 2 episodes are
movies.
movies, pretty much.
Yeah, so it works itself out to being like a 28 episode anime length. But like there's a lot of material, and adaptation is a tricky thing to do. Whether you're
Like, be
adapting-
happy it's not Dragon Ball Evolution, okay?
Yeah, right.
And yet,
Adaptation.
Xander Mobus gets to speak so much more.
Oh, speaking of which, I can actually bring this in now. I know we've been going on Persona for a long time, and we're probably just going to speed run the rest of the list anyway,
It's
so who
like-
cares?
Yeah.
A Persona changed our personalities,
Yes, it did.
just like Lupin.
It did me, because I grew to really love,
I'm gonna
like,
grab another drink.
I really grew to love the concept of Persona 5. I think it's political in a way that I did not expect. I loved all of the characters except Sai. But the core, like, the Phantom Thieves, I thought were fun. All of them. I don't really have a problem with any of them. I like the side characters, which I'm told are called confidants
Yes.
in the games.
So for the games, it's based off of tarot cards, much like Nozomi in Love Live. But these are actual tarot card representatives because it's the fool traversing till he becomes the world.
Mm.
Now, what's interesting is the difference between this one and, like, say, Persona 4. Persona 4, you actually obtain a world persona where your persona changes from the fool to the world. In this one, you just get Sataniel, which is basically just Lucifer before he falls to hell. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, you just get Sataniel, or Samael, as he's usually called,
Okay.
where he just shoots God in the face.
Yeah, that was.
That's it.
Whew, that was something else. I
I also like it in the game. He just says "Beagle." I know. I just pointed a gun at God.
I was telling Steven, I was like, I like all these side characters, or as you call them, confidants. And yes, I am on Team Kawakami. I don't give a fuck. But
Kawamami, as the subreddit calls her.
I'm sure that's what. I'm sure that's.
Oh,
What
that
they call it.
reminds me of my favorite post. Guys, hear me out. Shows a picture of Kawakami. Everyone, we know.
But one character that I wish had gotten more screen time in the anime was EY.
Yeah.
Am I saying that name right?
Yep.
EY, the gun shop owner.
Yeah, Wade had the audacity to ask me on the way back over here, Steven, who's your favorite between EY and Sojiro?
I have a feeling that yours favorite is Sojiro.
I mean, yeah, but it's like asking me to choose my favorite kid. Stop that.
Yeah.
I
just-
do.
But if you did add strikers to it, I would say Zenkichi is my favorite dad character.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that's what. I think there's Shay Frillis had that meme up like at the end of his confidant feud. It's like, yes, Persona 5 dads, my favorite gender.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Sojiro in the anime too. It took me a while to warm to him, but I realized that's probably like a probably a mechanic in the game.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
It's like he starts out, it's like, and you better not cause any fucking trouble for me. And then by the end of it, you're my son.
Yeah.
I don't want you to go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
Like,
a really sweet guy. He really is.
I'm not sure if you're watching the type of end game stuff when you were watching people doing the playthroughs, but the very end, you give him the journal, and when you go to say goodbye to everyone else, Sojo actually just wipes tears away
Yeah, I
because
saw
he's
that.
missing you. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're like, Dad, stop! You make me cry.
Yeah. That was a good moment. And also, I actually totally got why each character was so popular. I got why Futaba like resonated with a lot of people because she is like this techno gremlin who just is fixated on giant robots and just wants to, hang out and be kind of herself. And I always pair her up with Thomas Dolby's song "She Blinded Me with Science." Because she just reminds me of the girl from that song. That is who Thomas Dolby is singing about. Is Futaba.
You said always parrot. I was like, oh, please, dear God, don't go into the fucking ships and the Persona fandom.
No,
Please,
I have no interest in any of that. But, it's not the only news. For some reason, like, anytime I listen to Bryan Adams, I think of Ryuji. Because he just looks like... Because Bryan Adams in that album cover just kind of looks like Ryuji in his Phantom Thief outfit.
It was the summer of whatever year this takes place in.
2018.
2016.
2016.
So it's the summer of 2016.
Which is really funny.
But,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, Persona 5 Strikers takes place over summer vacation.
Summer vacation 2017, baby. Toward Japan.
Did Strikers come out recently?
Yeah, I think it was over the pandemic.
So 2020 came out in Japan, and because
2021 it got brought over here.
Yeah, because Atlas is very nice of a company, and because the people over here couldn't record because of quarantine restrictions, Atlas says, "Hey guys, here's your own recording equipment."
Yeah, Atlas themselves they actually mailed the voice actors their own personal recording equipment.
So I'll give my final thoughts on Persona 5. I loved it. A-tier anime. I wanted to give it an S-tier, but I felt like it sort of dragged in certain points, and like kind of the ending. The ending was good. It just sort of confused me a little bit at first, but I still give it a very high A-tier as an anime. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, because I'm genuinely curious. So, who's your favorite, like, social link? Like, you're playing the game, who's, like, your kind of go-to to, like, make that happen? Or romance option, I don't care. Like...
Well, Makoto's best girl, so...
Fair. I really like Makoto, too.
And I'm going to say it this way. Every one of your teammates has the exact same stats when you level them up. They all have Harrison Recovery, they all have a version of... When you're trying to capture the shadows, they all have their own flavor to trying to capture them. So I can't. If you're asking me for game mechanics, the absolute best one in my opinion is Mishima, because he gives everyone experience points, and if you get him up early enough, you basically have an unstoppable.
It's like even like the
Clout Goblin, right?
Yeah, yes, the Clout Goblin.
The members that aren't like since you can only have Joker and 3 other people fighting at the same time, like the members of the party that aren't part of your fighting thing, like they'll still get EXP from.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So if I say the most useful ones, these are Mishima and Hifumi. It also helps you with a lot of combat stuff.
And also,
yeah.
And if you're looking for a persona because you can basically fuse personas to get the best one out. If you're looking for most useless abilities, but the best persona you can get out of it. Oh yeah, the journalist.
Oh, okay.
Hers is about decreasing your
palace security
level all the time, which is like kind of helpful in like Kanashiro's and only Kanashiro's because my ass keeps getting jumped. But her persona at the very end is Beelzebub, which is an actual unit.
Oh, okay.
Yufumi's at the end. You can summon Lucifer.
So, favorite romance options. I mean, we already know what Stevens is. It's
Makoto is best girl.
Yeah. And the Haru one actually makes you feel kind of bad if you reject her.
Yes, because if you do level 10 with her, she'll say that she's been crying her eyes out all night. And you're like, oh!
This is really gonna hurt when I pick Kawakami.
I also do like Futaba's reaction to, like, when she asks you out and you say, okay, then it's like,
She basically just freezes and you're like...
Blue screen.
Hey, wake up.
As a quick side note, before we move on from Persona 5, the animation in the video game at certain points is hilarious. Like, I guess
Did you see-
I saw this one clip where you run into like a bathroom and Makoto, who's like been following you, just starts going in a fucking
Yeah,
circle.
her fucking
Break the AI.
yeah, her system AI is just fucking up.
Yeah, and then there was a beach episode where it's like you're at the beach, but off in the background you see like Yusuke holding these two giant lobsters.
He spent all his money on lobsters.
Yeah, I don't even think he cooks them
No,
or anything.
They just wanted them because they looked pretty.
Yeah, and
He
he's
wanted to draw them.
And Futaba is in the background trying to reach for the
He
lobster.
keeps holding them out of her reach.
Yeah, so stuff like that, and like when Haru takes the wheel of the
Oh yeah,
van.
and Strikers
That's
that she
Strikers.
finally
Holy
drives.
shit.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's like the whole game. It's like Makoto's driving the van, and Haru's like, I could drive too. It's like, oh no, Haru, you just got your license. Don't worry, I can handle this whole trip. Then eventually, just Makoto gets too tired, and I was like, no, I can do it.
And they did like a 6-hour trip in 2 hours or whatever the fuck. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I might have visited this place when I made a wrong turn.
So anyway, that's where I stand with Persona 5. I love it. I would love to play the video game in 2025. We'll see how that works out. Who knows? But yeah, I give the anime a very high A tier.
Same.
Yeah, high A tier. It hasn't. It didn't reach S because I think during some of the use case stuff, the lag between the voice and the mouth flaps kind of got to us, but after that, it was pretty good.
Like they definitely did let the English voice actors just fuck around and have fun with it. But then again, there were really noticeable times where the lip flaps did not match up.
And I will say, they need to have Strikers be its own anime.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that would be funny.
It's like apparently, I've researched the Persona 4 anime because we actually did buy Persona 4 because there was $10 on the PlayStation Store, but yeah, we haven't played it yet because Steven isn't ready to let go of 5 yet.
Strikers is way too much fun.
Yeah, so I was researching the anime. So there's regular Persona 4, and then Persona 4 Golden is like the royal of that. So
Okay.
apparently they did do a full-length Persona 4 anime, and then a couple years later did like 4 extra episodes doing the Persona 4 Golden extra stuff.
Okay.
So we're really hoping they do one for Royal and one for Strikers
I'm not
too.
sure how they do Royal though, because Billy Komatsu isn't among the living anymore.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So.
But if they do Strikers, then I'll support that 100%.
Yeah.
So moving on from Persona 5, because I think we've made it clear where we stand.
We've said all we can really say for right now.
The 2 game experts have weighed in, and then me, the lame, who hasn't played the game.
Lame.
But
We can change that.
But that's true, and I would love to, but duty calls. Anyway.
You said duty.
Anyway, moving on. Birdie Wing.
Oh wait, thought we had. My list has the Lupin and Detective Conan crossover movies.
Oh right. Well, we've already talked a lot about Lupin, but
and this was our first exposure to Detective Conan,
which was cool. Like I like Detective Conan. I like those characters.
I'm not your daddy.
Right. Some fun interactions between those two groups of characters. We also got some Kaido Kid in there.
I know Heather really likes
Heather
that guy.
loves Kaido Kid, which is why I was surprised she didn't buy the Nezo. I think she wanted me to buy the Nezo of him. It's like, hey, you gotta ask me first. You can't be doing all this coy hinting stuff. Just tell me to buy it and I'll fucking buy it.
I don't read minds.
Yeah, I don't read minds. You gotta read this pocketbook. Because I had the money for it. I would have done it. You know what? If
I don't care if I go blind. I don't need to see the price tag anyway.
Hardest Dracula flow line. Anyway, I like the special because there was a special in a movie.
Yeah.
I like the special more than I like the movie. I remember that. I remember thinking that way. But I did like to see the two groups of characters sort of mingle and mess around. I gave the special an A tier, and I gave the movie a B, because the movie was pretty convoluted, but I still liked it in the end. I gave that like a low B tier.
Yeah.
Steven?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Moving on. Oh, this was my pick. Birdie Wing.
Yeah. So the first golf anime we dove into.
Yeah, which is like...
Which was, I think it's like the first golf animes to get big
Mhm.
lately.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we won't really reiterate a lot of because we've already said our piece about this show. It's nice to see a sport that you love, or anything that you love, get kind of this sort of...
This major sports anime treatment.
Yeah, get the, not just the sports show treatment, but the sports anime
Yeah,
treatment.
it's this golf, but it's really just going above and beyond anime crazy with it.
Yeah, they do like a lot of like Dragon Ball power-up moves with like golf swings
Like
and
the
everything.
blue bullet.
Yeah, which is funny because we would quote those like command shouts that Eve does in the show as we were making our approach shots to the green. They never usually worked, but you know,
It was fun to do them.
it was still fun to do them, even you know whether we were having a great day on the golf course or we was sucking, you know. But yeah, I had a really good time watching Birdie Wing. It's probably I don't want to say least favorite because I still had a lot of fun watching Birdie Wing. It's just probably the show that inspired me the least because of what would come later in terms of golf anime. But I still really liked it. I thought it represented the sport of golf in a fun yet still respectful way. Hannah, since you're newer to golf, but certainly not newer to anime, what do you have to say about Birdie Wing?
I mean, I think you pretty much covered a lot of it. Just, it was really cool to just see sport we like just get the crazy treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how like sports animes make like volleyball like the biggest thing in the world. Like seem like life or death stuff, except in Birdie Wing it kind of actually is life or death because the mafia's involved in golf.
Yeah. Imagine Haikyuu, but everyone is walking around in like Titleist polo shirts and visors and everything. Like, oh, so it's just like a normal country club around here. So yeah, Birdie Wing I gave an A tier to,
Same.
and
When-
what did do you know what Steven gave?
I think
Steven, what'd you give Birdie Wing?
I give like an A tier.
A tier. So that's 3 A's all around.
then the next one I have
Gotta
on
trip
here
over
was
my own
the
jeans.
Wake Up Girls anime, which we've already said
we
our
already
piece
talked
about
about
it.
Fairy Tale. We've talked about the intro arc is pretty. It's meh, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Fairy Tale.
I mean,
exists.
the intro arc, I kind of smashed like 5 different arcs together that were 2 episodes apiece. So
Yeah. So
In intro arc, it's good for what it is. An intro.
I gave it a B tier, but better stuff would come along the way. Heaven's Design Team,
It was cute.
very cute.
Very
It
cute.
was a very fun little show.
I like the guy who was like obsessed with making every different type of unicorn though.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
He had one good idea and tried to make it everything else.
I mean, it was a really cute show. Like how God is just this enthusiastic, like, yeah, let's do that, let's do that.
Make me animals.
Yeah, and like how it actually has some pretty good informational stuff about the animals that they're making.
It's like, why can't our animal be like this? That's because his head would be too big to support.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing of like how they thought giraffes evolved because, you know, they were originally like horses or something that needed to reach the tops of trees, so they evolved themselves to have longer necks. That's a real thing, by the way. But yeah, I gave it like a high B tier.
Same.
Same.
Alright, Transformers the movie, which is funny because Pointless Hub just put out a video about how much of a rupture the Transformers the movie was. I still like it. I still think it's a good addition to the Transformers lore and everything. But
And watch all your favorites die so we can rebrand them as different colors.
Yeah, I totally see why this movie was so controversial back in '86 when they first aired it.
Taking your kid to the theater, say Transformers has a movie, then the kid crying the whole way home because Optimus died.
Yeah, I mean, that studio was getting, like, death threats from kids who killed Optimus. Like, a letter, like, saying, I am 12 years old and I have guns. It's like, oh, shit. It's like, what do you even do in that situation?
I have
Point
a
and
bomb
laugh.
in my little Tykes truck.
Oh dear.
How about I'm gonna get over to you in my little, fucking little
He's
tight car and get you?
He's in his little driving toy bulldozer. And he's built it up to be like the killdozer.
Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things.
Yeah. But I guess as some like you guys who aren't exposed much to trans, what did y'all think?
I liked it. And it was fun seeing Orson Welles' last performance.
Which, by the way, he has been misrepresented as hating that role. He actually didn't. He was actually very happy for the work because by the end of his life he was deeply in debt and needed to do whatever he could to essentially keep groceries on the table.
Here's what I'm gonna say. As someone who doesn't really know much of Transformers lore and doesn't really care to, honestly, it was a good movie. Optimus dying, I can see why all the kids cried, I guess.
Yeah, and sent death threats. But yeah, I like the show more than the movie, but me and Heather both agree that the movie is like an important piece within the canon of Transformers. I personally gave it a like an A tier, but I know you guys probably feel differently.
Yeah, I think I had it in B tier.
Yeah, I had a me tier as well.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, and then
The best little movie that's getting an anime very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Sorario Utility. Holy fuck, the Japanese have it good when they're golfing.
Yes, again, I mean, I explained this in the past episode. Yeah. I explained this in the past episode, but I do have to say, if you do go 18 holes for golf in Japan, it's called an entire day because they, you can't wear your golf attire to the place. They have you change. And then you go do your first 9, and then you have lunch.
Like they provide you lunch there, just like a tonkotsu bowl.
Yes. And then you do your back 9, and then you take a bath. I do have to say that I think the prices now are like $168 United States dollars to do a round of 18. But with all the inclusive stuff, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, basically getting a resort day without the hotel.
Pretty much. I would still pay the $168 to do it.
Yeah, just want to experience that at least once.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get like tonkatsu ramen, I think, or
Yeah.
over rice or something,
There's
or
some kind of
tonkatsu
pork
over
bowl.
rice. You get like a tonkatsu over rice, I think.
Oh yeah, I think that's what they were eating in the show.
You guys talking about how good
Yeah.
how basically Japanese golf is all inclusive.
Yeah, it's
Pretty much just feels like a resort day without the hotel.
Fuck, it looks so good. Like, imagine we didn't even have to leave the course to like get like really good food. Like,
Yeah,
because
they-
the food in Sorario Utility looks stupid good.
Yeah. Having you like you do your first 9, then you eat lunch, then you do the back 9.
Oh, fuck off! That would be amazing.
Please turn off the light, never
Huh?
I do like it.
Okay. You all right?
Yeah, it's all good. I do like everything in there. It's all good. It's all nice. Everything looks nice, but
Ham number 5.
ham number 5.
Oh yeah, because she shot the other 4 balls into the lake or whatever.
How about that scene where she hit into a tree and went like 5 yards behind her?
Yeah, I've been there before.
Shoot.
What is this Looney Tunes
What is
bullshit?
this Looney Tunes bullshit? Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about the show so much is because it just captures what it's like to be not a great golfer, not even a good just like a normal golfer.
Just
You're out
somebody
with your,
just starting out, pretty much.
yeah, you know, you go to the course, you're with your buds, and they're not even that great, but they're probably better than you, and it's like, but not by much.
She's so me for real.
Alright, now don't fuck up this part. How'd you get a double bogey? I got excited.
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me many times. So it's like this show is very relatable if you play golf just regularly.
Yeah. It does remind me of Hannah when we took her out to the links at one point when she had a par and then made it a double bogey.
Well, she did have a par, but made it a par too. She's had a couple pars.
Yeah.
At,
No, I was saying one of the first times we took her out and she made
Like,
a part
when I-
to go boogie and she started screaming.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, them's the breaks. Them's the breaks, kind of. I mean, hell, there was that. You remember that little kid that we saw on the whole after us at Lynx who was like, "What the fuck?" It was like this 10-year-old kid just like, "Fuck this."
The kid screaming, like hears the mom shout something after.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, I feel you, kid."
She said language. It was
Yeah.
the best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't even blame the kid. It was like, yeah.
We're there right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be you in a few minutes, so give it some time. Anyway, so yeah, I really like Serario Utility.
I get a little 15-minute
Yeah.
show.
Perfect.
Cannot wait for the full length anime.
Oh, I can't either. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
But moving on, we're gonna yap about Love Live again. Negion. Oh man, this was a great season of Negion.
Yeah. Got the little Ryoran end of the world subplot going.
Yeah, that was fun. And like Kasumi.
Kasumi being the straight man in the entire show.
Kasumi's the only one not getting the joke, which was the funniest part.
Still love that one part where it's just Kanata and Emma having a picnic and Kasumi's like, you know, the world's kind of ending right now.
Yeah, but I will say, who had the best episode of Negion was...
Shizuku!
Yeah.
It's Lanzu and Shizuku, which is... It's nice how Negion, they got a bunch of, like, little duos that don't really interact as much. They,
Yeah.
like, just don't really see them hang out much, but, like, now the Negion decides they want to make a whole little 5-minute short of them just hanging out.
Yeah, it's like we got Setsuna and Ayumu, which was... That was a cute one, where they were, like, underneath the umbrella together, and...
Just end up were they talking about you?
Yeah, well, of course, because it's Ayumu. But I really like the Shizuku and Lanzu one, because it's like...
Like, Shizuku's sad about not getting a part in her play, and
Lanzu's trying to help out.
Yeah, just takes Shizuku out to go hang out, and then eventually just Shizuku looks at Lanzu's phone, and it's the wiki how to cheer up a friend.
Which is like, she's so earnest about it, Lanzu is,
Yeah.
that, like, you can't help but not love her for it. Like, I can't...
She's doing her best.
Yeah, it's like, I have the feeling that Lanzu is a completely different character in the anime than she is from like, the games. Because from the games, I hear a lot of, like, heavy criticism towards Lanzu. But in the anime, I really loved her. And I loved her in this short from Negion as well. And it's a good episode where these two, Lanzu and Shizuku, get to interact, because I don't think they really interact that much. Do they? Like,
It's like the anime before that. I haven't really seen them
don't
hang out
recall
much, but
anything?
I know in the first movie that Shizuku and Lanzu were part of the same little group that's the focus of the first movie.
Right, yeah. And,
They'll probably interact more there.
okay, that's good. So we had the Emma.
Oh yeah, here's Emma and Rina hanging out, and then I and Karin just dealing with like what did our little pair ups do?
Yeah. Well, they try to give affection like different.
Oh yeah, Rina's trying to show affection like a cat, and Emma, since she has a pet goat, shows her how to show affection like a goat.
Yeah.
It's like head, butt,
And-
noogie, noogie.
And I really loves the affection from Rina, but Karin is like, please don't.
And then you just brings up like, oh, I remember how you were just yesterday. And Karin's taking a nap on Emma, and she wakes up. Emma?
Oh yeah, that was like the famous frame from that from that show. Okay, so we got the Emma part. We got the Shizuku and Lanzu. We got Ayumu and Setsuna. Who are we missing?
I think there is a you and Mia.
Oh yeah, the you and
And they're
Mia.
a piano recital.
That was a cute little moment. Not really a lot to it, but it was still nice to see. Because I don't think we've really seen you and Mia interact that much, so...
Well, they didn't really have a chance, did they?
Right, and all the characters who don't really get a whole lot this season of Nejion, they tend to end up in like the Ryoran? How do you say it?
The Ryoran Victory Road.
Yeah, they tend to end up in that larger side plot. And also, was the Little Sis contest in this?
Oh, that was in season 1?
That was in season 1.
Oh,
Okay.
another one of the little bits from Nejion season 2, like this when Rebirth rode in on like the little bear things.
Oh yeah.
Boom 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 boom.
Yeah, they reference that, which is cute to show them showing up to the group later. But of course they put Lanzu on the panda bear.
And every time Lonzo was on screen, they had the fucking symbol.
The gong.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. She's from fucking China. Jesus, you should just have the vapors in the background playing whenever she shows up.
Same.
But yeah, Nejion, I gave it an A tier.
Same.
In fact, I give the whole show at this point an A tier. I know I put Nejion season 1 into a B tier, but nah, I give Nejion an A tier, especially since it's the only Love Live thing that we talked about this year. Is
Yeah.
Nejion.
I was really
Well,
hoping.
besides the concerts, but
Yeah, I was really hoping we'd be able to get the first Niji movie, but it'll be soon.
it'll be soon. Hey, we've got some time to wait before we get the whole trilogy out too.
Yeah.
So,
Lord of the Rings time, let's go.
what?
Lord of the Rings time, let's go. 3 hours, no breaks.
Yeah, no break. All the Niji movies turn out to be 9 hours long.
Let's go.
Yes! Whole other season. Moving on, we had Oitonbo.
Yeah, our next foray into golf animes.
Very good. Very, very good show. I gave this one an S tier.
Yeah.
Same.
And I know season 2 of that just finished now, so I think after we watch Superstar season 3, I'll make Tonbo my next pick.
Cool.
Tonbo season 2.
Yeah, I mean, because I really loved all the characters in Tonbo. It's kind of funny because golf, which is like the initial draw for us watching these shows, kind of takes a back seat.
Or is it the
Like-
initial hook?
Yeah, it's the initial hook.
Then we got invested
No,
in
it's
just
not the. I don't want the initial hook. I want to have the initials pipe it down the fairway.
and we just got invested in Tombo's own little personal growth story.
Yeah, and like this island and the grandfather. And also, Tonbo might be the best golfer in the world because she knows how to use a 3-iron properly.
She can actually play it.
Mm-hmm. It was the one club which credit to her dad, because this is something that I've thought about doing a lot.
It's on his way to the golf tournament. Like, oh, here, you can have this one. I'm not taking it.
I'm
I
not-
can
I'm not-
not fucking use this.
I'm not using this piece of shit. But yeah, I really love the show. I thought the characters were great. I thought that its representation of golf was really unique, because it's like the reason that Tonbo is such a killer on the golf course is because she's basically grown up on the hardest golf course in the entire world.
Yeah, it's like one of the only places to really play just as a kid on the island.
Like, it's what she's grown up knowing how to do. So I thought that was a good explanation. Lovey Gaiga, like,
Yeah.
he's a very good mentor character.
And I just loved the final arc where how Tombo gets the putter, and that one guy on the other island that made the golf course.
Yeah, that made, like, the hardest golf course in the world.
It's like Tombo just finally figuring out how to putt with the 3-iron. It's like, no, you are going to need a putter. It's like, no, I can do this with my own club. And then eventually she gets it. Just his parting gift for her leaving that little island is, here, for the love of God, just use a putter. Just gives her a putter.
Tombo's like, no, I don't want to learn how to putt. I want golf to be fun still. Anyway, great show. Happy to see there's a season 2. I gave it an S tier.
Same.
So yeah, that's where we are. Fairy Tale arc after that was Galuna Island. Great arc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
think my favorite arc of Fairy Tail so far.
Yes, Galuna arc is a strong one. Why is it always Gray that gets the fucking great arc, though? Anyway.
Can't wait to see more Gray then. So says Juvia. Anyway, moving on. It was my pick because
A triple feature of movies?
yeah, a triple feature of movies, which was Mirai, Boy and the Heron, and Lupin the Third
Farewell to Nostradamus.
Farewell to Nostradamus. What y'all think of I think you all love Mirai, right?
Like, it was a pretty good movie, but the kid tantrums just kind of,
Threw me off.
just got tired of hearing those, which, I mean,
Well,
I think I hear
of
for
the
parents.
Well, shit, you probably work around kid tantrums for a living, so.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh no, not this shit again.
Yeah. I really like Mirai. I don't think it's one of,
It's not the strongest, but it's definitely good. It's a solid work.
Yeah, Mamoru
Is it?
Hosoda.
Oh, yeah, Hosoda.
It's not one of Mamoru Hosoda's strongest works. I would say that's...
I'd say Boy and the Beast.
Yeah, Boy and the Beast or Girl Left Their Time still holds that honor. But Mirai was really, really good, and I really loved that. I really loved that movie. So I gave it an S tier. I know you guys probably gave it
I gave it an A tier.
A tier. Fair enough. And then we had
Boy and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron, which was kind of a pastiche of all of Miyazaki's films.
Yeah, just kind of felt like Miyazaki just trying to capture Spirited Away again. Even though I know this is a completely different story than Spirited Away, but I mean, just like a lot of the elements of it just remind.
Kind of reminded me of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I still loved it. I gave it an S tier. Well, actually, I gave it either an S tier or an A tier.
I could have sworn you gave it an A tier.
Yeah, I probably gave it an A tier.
Which, funny enough, before I'd actually seen this movie, like, so much of the advertising I've seen for it, and it's about Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, so I always assumed that Robert Pattinson was the boy and Willem Dafoe was the heron.
Yeah, it's an
But
unknown who plays the boy. Robert Pattinson plays the heron.
Yeah,
And
you would not be able to tell that's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, which, talk about range.
Yeah.
And then Willem Dafoe plays a character that's only in, like,
Yeah, it's
two scenes.
It's like the honest heron is what they call him. Like, a bird that's dying in one scene. Like, tells his whole life story to the boy.
Yeah, which kind of invalidated all of the Lighthouse memes that were made about this movie, but, you know, whatever. I really liked it. I thought, you know what, if this is the last movie that Miyazaki makes, which, knowing Miyazaki, it's probably, like, the 5th to last movie he'll make.
He'll come out of retirement again in a few years.
Yeah.
Gotta make another.
Yeah, this is a good one to end on. You know, it's not like, what was that band's name? The Jam, that, like, ended on, like, their best album ever. It's probably not like that, but it's still a really good movie to end on. And then, Lupin the Third, Farewell to Nostradamus.
Yeah, I think this is probably, like, one of my favorite, like, Lupin TV movies.
It was a good one.
Like, I think Castle Cagliostro and Lupin the Third, the first, are, like, the theatrical ones.
Yeah.
I think this one is just another TV movie, which are most of the Lupin movies.
Yeah, I mean, it had a lot of the same stuff that any Lupin the Third TV movie has, and I really enjoyed it. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I liked how the ending was completely thwarted because the kid was so lonely that she had to draw into the Bible.
Yeah, and kind of ruined the treasure. It's like, well, guess we have to move on from that. I like the all the stuff in the tower. You want to talk about Die Hard? That felt like a Die Hard movie in a Lupin context, and it was a lot of fun. So,
too bad it wasn't based around Christmas. Would have been beat for beat.
Oh, you okay?
Oh, the bottle sprayed up on you, huh?
Hate when that happens.
Don't worry, it didn't spray anywhere else. It just sprayed on me.
Giggity.
God damn it.
I think we have some paper towels in the kitchen if you need them.
It's okay, I'll be fine.
Then next,
I think I should.
Next we got a Heather pick that blew all of us away.
You know what? I why don't you guys talk about this? I do want to say I flip-flop back and forth between what was the best show that Heather's ever shown me, and I flip-flop between Endo and Kobayashi Live and Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah, okay,
So yeah, Apothecary Diaries is the show.
So yeah, and I put Endo and Kobayashi as my surprise, like, so that I went in there with, like, not really a lot of expectations for, and then was blown away by it. But yeah, I'd say Apothecary Diaries is my favorite that Heather showed.
Apothecary Diaries is definitely a good show. It was definitely medical murder mystery.
Yeah.
or death prevention, or I'd say like House, but
Yeah. It's like if House was set in Imperial China.
yes, exactly, completely. I also do like how she basically just rejects the advances of that dude.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Mao Mao is the best.
So yeah, I could hear you guys talking about comparing Mao Mao to Doctor House.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part of the show because she does come off as she's very eccentric, but man, when she knows what's wrong, she's like, all right, you need to do this or else this patient is gonna die.
Yeah.
All she's missing is the cane limp.
Right, the cane limp.
And I just love that episode with that, like, the young concubine girl where it's like all of her ladies in waiting just are bullying her and just making her eat stuff she's allergic to, and it's like, then Mao Mao just steps in there like, you know, if the concubine dies in your presence, you're going to get executed for it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, fuck those, like, palace ladies, but...
It's like they're all just scared of Mao Mao whenever she
Yeah.
comes by.
But Mao Mao is such a fun, like an actual quirky character who isn't annoying.
Yeah.
But has a lot of funny scenes between her and Jinshi, the pretty boy.
A eunuch who's not actually a eunuch.
You're not actually a eunuch, but well, speaking of not actually being a eunuch, Mao Mao gets involved in a scene with one of the palace guards who wants to woo one of the concubines.
Mao Mao's just inspecting the goods. They're just seeing if her concubine sisters would like it.
She has him stripped down to his loincloth and like make poses for, and she's like, this is a pretty good product here. And it's like, remove your last piece, and then
Jinshi just walks in, what are you doing?
And Jinshi just has a complete come apart. And it's pretty fucking hilarious. But, yeah, I really loved Apothecary Diaries. Like, I thought, I was really happy that me and Heather got to meet Emmy Lowe.
Yes,
at Anime Magic.
Yeah, that was a unexpected twist.
Because Emmy Lowe was dressed as Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries.
I just love that so much when the voice actors just love their characters.
Yeah,
like,
which is funny because Emmy Lowe was at
it was a Demon Slayer.
It was a Demon Slayer panel. And
I got hijacked within 5 minutes.
Yeah, and Emmy Lowe was just dressed as Mao Mao. And I was, it was a real privilege to hear Emmy Lowe talk about why Emmy Lowe liked Apothecary Diaries and what Mao Mao meant, in terms of playing her. So yeah, I really liked Apothecary Diaries. Very good pick. I said it was an A tier. I stand by that.
Yeah,
Same.
I give it an A tier as well.
Season 2 of that coming soon.
Yep. So I've seen.
Tax evasion for the win.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
It's one of my big picks of the year.
Rascal Does Not Dream.
This just changed me as a man. Do you see the tears forming in my eyes, Hannah? I'm still not over that fucking ending, dude. Still not over that ending of that third movie, guys.
Yeah, the show was fantastic. I really liked the two main characters.
Sakata and Mai.
Sakata and Mai. I understand why she's only called the Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah. I mean, that actually was the name of the first light novel.
Yeah.
It's like all of them are like Rascal Does Not Dream of, and just something that involves the other girl.
Yeah. So we call it Bunny Girl Senpai as a shorthand, but that's not like the be all end all of the show.
Yeah.
The show.
I went into that show thinking it was just going to be some funny fan servicey type thing I could just laugh about, maybe do a drunk watch with you guys with, and then just wasn't expecting this to make me cry.
Well, it was Kiyoani, wasn't it?
No, it was Cloverworks, but you can very clearly tell that the author of this was inspired by Key. Like it just has that Clannad and Canon type thing. It's a sarcastic asshole type guy helping girls with their supernatural problems.
I totally. And also, Yurika Kubo, who many of you will know as
Shikako and Hanayo from Love Live,
gives probably the best performance of her career as
Kaede.
Yeah, Kaede, who's the younger sister of Sakuta. Especially in the second movie.
Yeah, she has one of the most heartbreaking arcs ever.
Yeah, because she's so
They pretty much know her for the most of the series. Just it's like Q loves your brother type character, and then just eventually she gets all her memories back, and now the second movie is just more of just struggling with the fact that you've pretty much missed 2 years of your life, and now you have to rebuild again.
And from Sakuta's perspective, the new Kaede is effectively dead because of the multiple personality disorder. And the old Kaede comes back, and he has to reconcile that. And it's
like he's happy that your sister's back, but now that the sister you were pretty much raising for the last few years is gone.
I remember in one of the scenes when they went to go see the what was it, that idol performance?
Yeah.
And she basically just drops the ball and was like, who did you like better, the me now or the me that you raised for 2 years? He's like, okay, look, here's the thing, right? I missed my regular younger sister. However, that other younger you was a new experience, and I did fall for her, and I did like her as my younger sister. However, I do appreciate that you two were each your separate person, and I missed you dearly.
Yeah,
I think that kind of snapped Kaede back to reality.
It's very complicated. It's very complicated. Not that it's hard to understand. It's a complicated situation, which I think the writing does, and of course the performances do very well with.
Yeah.
And also,
I feel like if this were a lesser show or something, they would have just oh, she's back to normal, everything's fine now, just move on. And then this actually deals with the psychological impact of that.
And
what's his name again?
Sakuta.
Sakuta deserves a fucking cigarette, alright?
That's true. Hey, road cigs don't count. Anyway.
Road cigs don't count. It's like road beers.
Yeah, I like road beers. But with the thing that really gets me about this show is that there's a lot of humor in it. Yeah. Which is what reminded me of Key, because while you're watching all this heartbreaking stuff in there's some real, gut-busting comedy in there. Where Sakuta tries to get himself excused from the test. And he's I need to go to the bathroom. The teacher's like, no,
sit down.
And then Sakuta says, I'm turtle.
Just go. It's I'm gonna be in there for a while. This feels like a big one.
Yeah.
Just go already.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny. But that's humor that's not uncommon that you would find in a Key show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think Key is the most apt sort of comparison that you could do to Rascal Does Not Dream. Personally, my favorite film, or my favorite part of this story, was probably the first movie, because it had a very it had a
the Christmas movie.
Yeah, actually the Christmas movie, which is funny because we're filming this right around the holidays, so
just a couple days after Christmas.
Yeah, a couple days after Christmas, but a lot of people are still celebrating, so
I'm celebrating the fact that I don't know what day it is and I keep drinking.
Yeah, same here. Anyway, so yeah, that was my favorite film. I know that Hannah and Steven, I think your guys' favorite is the third film?
I think my favorite's the first, but the third one is what broke Steven.
And it ends up being my favorite, yeah.
Right, and I understand why it broke you, because, I also got quite emotional watching it. It's a very emotional series, which is funny because you watch it and it has a lot of situational humor in it. You're not expecting it to hit as hard as it should, but man, when it hits hard.
Yeah.
So I give the whole series an S tier, personally.
Yes, same here.
Same. Oh yeah, another show that's getting a season 2 in 2025. In 2025, we're getting Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus, the university arc.
Oh, okay.
Also, the dub has officially came out. All 12 episodes have been done so far, at least of the regular show. And they're now going to dub the first movie, and I don't think they're redubbing the other two, but Yeah, hope they don't.
Okay, so
And then the dub and sub of the University arc should be nearly on par.
Rising Impact.
Oh wait, I have on mine Lupin the Third, the First is the next thing we watched, which
Great movie.
one of the best Lupin movies ever. And then I have
Where Lupin dresses up as Hitler.
it's like, you guys thought Hitler was still alive? He's been dead for years.
It was me. Deal.
Then I have Fairy Tale, Phantom Lord, and Loki arcs.
Good arcs.
Yeah, I'd say Phantom Lord is just the casual war arc, but the Loki arc is definitely where all the emotion is.
Yeah, I really like the Loki part of that arc. So yeah, I gave those A tiers in my original ranking.
Yep.
And now we go to
Rising Impact.
Rising
There you go.
Impact.
Man, I love Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, because
Hey, he got brain blasted.
Oh, fuck.
he sure did by a fucking Titleist. But
It would
yeah,
have been funny if it was like one was like off-brand, like Noodle.
yeah. Which I've picked up plenty of those.
I don't know, right? I'm
Justice,
still only down to like 5 golf balls in my back.
Justice for Wang Yan.
Oh,
Wang
Lian.
Yeah, Wang Lian was great. Like he was like straight up almost winning the golf tournament,
And
the whole
nobody
time.
even noticed.
Nobody even noticed because he's just that good. But yeah, this is like
It's just see all these competitions going on with other people, and then it's like reading off the scores halfway through the contest. Like in second place, Wang Lian. Like what? When have you been here?
yeah. Well, he's been there the whole time, but he's just been kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which,
Say it with silence.
yeah. Which is funny because in the show there's like these 3 golf schools. The English school is the best. The American school is second best. Bullshit! The American school would be the absolute top champs of golf because we got fucking Augusta.
You know what the English school would be? Dead fucking last.
Oh yeah, the Japanese school would be ahead of the English school.
Yeah. So, I feel like nowadays, like the English and like the British Scottish golf. Wait, I mixed things up. It's the Americans and the Japanese golfers are going head to head now.
Yeah, because Japan produces actually quite a few good golfers right now.
I will say, from that last little bit of Rising Impact, I did like the Cockney guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Fucking amazing.
that one gothy looking dude that's
Yeah.
like the Cockney Peter Steele.
Oh yeah. More Cockney than the actual Peter Steele. But,
I think Peter Steele was a New Yorker.
well,
Well, technically, you're not wrong there, are you?
but thinking of the characters from Rising Impact, we already talked about this show, but I love its premise of like just this little kid who's so lovable that he basically transforms everyone around him while he competes in competitive golf. The only character that I never really liked was the one blonde American dude's girlfriend.
Oh
No,
yeah,
fuck
yeah. I
her.
feel like a lot of the female characters in the show were just really annoying.
Well, yeah.
Well, at least like the girls that were competing in the games.
Yeah, I mean the original like one who brought him into golf was
Yeah, she was cool.
Golf Misato was fun.
God, Misato.
Um,
That's a way to describe that one, isn't it?
but yeah, I really liked a lot of the characters in the show. I thought it kind of had a goofy naming convention with the whole Camelot thing.
Like how the Camelot was based in the Japan school, but not the English one.
Yeah. And it should have been based in the American school because there's no way that the American school would not be the best at golf. The Americans...
Even with Arthur Phoenix.
Do you know how long...
The Yu-Gi-Oh reference is fucking father. Why is the Yu-Gi-Oh reference the father? Come on, guys.
The Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Yeah, do you know how long it took for a non-American to win the Masters tournament?
Like 2022, I think.
No, a non-American of any kind.
Oh, I don't know, 10 years?
30 years!
Oh, shit.
Which was South African Gary Player. 1965. That was the first time that happened.
The only golfer I care about is John Daly, anyway.
I
Legitimate role model.
definitely. Well, hey, what about Scotty Scheffler?
I don't want to go to jail.
Eve is in the
He was in the clink for like 0.3 seconds before he got out and went to the Masters.
Yeah.
And then and then the Olympics.
Absolute Chad behavior. Anyway, Rising Impact, great show. Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Fuck some of those holes because those holes look.
The one with the fucking half pipe on it.
Oh my god!
I think I watched the trailer of it before it came out. Just wanted to test the waters, so I sent it to you guys, and I just saw that half pipe hole in the trailer. I just took a screenshot of it and put it in the group chat.
Oh hell no!
Hell, fuck off that one.
I'm gonna use my putter. I don't care if it's a quad bogey. I'm just gonna putt my way up that hill. And
The golf teacher, why are you using your putter? Me, why the fuck ain't you?
aren't you afraid? Anyway, Rising Impact was good. Lego Monkey Kid, that was cute.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with this one. I felt like that was just brain rot .exe. So I kind of phased out of that show, mate. But the only time I really paid attention was when Sean Jamel actually flexed his voice acting skills.
It did have a lot of
You have the Dragon Ball monkey brain. You hear Goku.
Okay, Frieza, calm down.
not really anything to write home about, but it was still fun, I feel.
Yeah, like if you're around a kid, just put this on. They'll have fun with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they get to experience some veteran anime voice actors.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. So, yeah.
Got Billy Kometz in it.
Yeah, I gave it a B tier.
But yeah, I'd say B tier.
Yeah.
Moving on. What even needs to be said? JoJo, Phantom Blood, and Battle Tendency fucking still holds up.
Yeah.
Great
And
show.
After all these years, just still, I'm back in my JoJo
So,
era.
I'll say this. The Pillar Men. The Pillar Men thing. So I have a friend right now who's doing what's called a field of study, where it's like, basically you have to, like, answer. It's like a very short but very involved test. Short in terms of, like, how many questions are on it, but you have to, like,
Go really in depth with
go
it.
really in depth and about like the historiography, like how people have written about this historical event, and it's usually only about 3, 4, 5 questions long. And I went to the Pillar Men theme, and it's like, this test only has 3 questions. How hard could it be? The 3 questions, and it's
Yeah.
it's AC/DC.
Cars and Wham.
Cars and Wham, and I just sent that comment to him, and he fucking just said, "Dude, that was like the boost I needed because I can't fucking do." It's like him imagining his test questions as the Pillar Man. Caesar. Okay, that moment was just—it wasn't even fun. It was just like heartbreaking because it's like, who doesn't love Caesar?
Just hearing that and just the Japanese. It's like, you tell why that's a meme scene.
Yeah, and
I'm so glad you showed us in the Japanese instead of English.
Yeah.
and
And
we
got
also-
introduced to the best waifu.
REO Speedwagon.
Cause he's
Robert
gonna
E.O.
keep
Speedwagon.
on loving
Vin-
Jonathan.
That has inspired me to turn my Imperial into a Speedwagon Eater show.
Nice.
This is gonna be fun.
Hey, heard it from a friend who
heard it from a friend who
heard it from a friend
friend who heard it from a friend who
I like how-
Dio's been messing around. Oh, I love it. But here's the thing. Speedwagon, best character in that arc. For
Yeah.
both, I feel like Jonathan gets a little sidelined, which is kind of in character, but
Yeah.
I do like Joseph.
yeah.
But, characters throughout. I mean, it's just like, it's almost like the action is just so kinetic that you're like, holy shit, we're already here. Like, weren't we dealing with the kissing incident and now it's like, we're here.
Yeah, it's like episode 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures just feels like so much happens.
Yeah, everything happens, but you're still able to get a good grasp on it. So,
Yeah.
I can't wait for Steel Ball Run
so
because that's getting animated
yeah.
now.
I mean, we're up to how many JoJo seasons at this
I think
point?
this is gonna be
Yeah, the next one coming up to get animated, Steel Ball Run, is part 7, but part 9 is currently still being written in manga right now.
How
and part 7 has Jesus in it.
Nice. You know what? That's Oh, that's huge for Jesus. That's a big deal for him to be included in JoJo's.
Yeah, I just remember that anime birthdays page on December 25th. One of the birthdays was the manga panel that had Jesus, and it's like it's like Jesus, and then the series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, I do want to say one thing. In Persona 5 Scram, we're bringing it back to Persona 5 just a little bit because the guy behind JoJo and the guy behind Persona were very good friends.
Oh, okay.
So in Persona 5 Scramble, there's a guy who has like Dio's hairstyle, but transforms into a dragon and does the Dio pose from Part 3. Or was it Part 4 or Part 3?
At Part 3.
Part 3.
I do like the JoJo pose. Like, you remember when JoJo posing was like a
Yeah,
thing
big
for
meme.
Oh, like JoJo became such a touch base for like a lot of meaning. At one time, I was watching this old Mickey Mouse cartoon where there was a Mortimer mouse who's like
Oh,
a big,
God.
tall, like lanky mouse.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels like a fucking JoJo sketch.
Is this a JoJo reference?
This is a motherfucking JoJo reference. But yeah, I mean, what can I even say about the first season of JoJo? Still holds up. Still fantastic.
Yeah.
The characters are still great.
Like, I want to keep showing you guys more of JoJo, but then again, Part 3 is such a slog to get through.
Oh, Stardust Crusaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I cut off watching JoJo, like just in my own free time. I still like it. Like I still thought it was good. It's just you know.
Parts 4 and Part 5. Part 4 and Part 5 are really good.
Which one has Jolene in it?
Part 6, which I haven't actually seen that one all the way through.
Okay, fair enough.
Because Netflix really botched the release schedule of that one. So I just haven't actually jumped back on it.
And then, okay, so that's good. So after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we have another
Fairy Tale.
Tower of Heaven, which we all said that we really liked.
I'm not exactly on the like spectrum of that. I mean, I thought it was like the weakest of them, but it does.
I thought it was really good.
Oh God, what's his face? It was like starts with an S. Oh, the guy with like the half mask thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's his face?
I can't remember either. I remember
Simon.
Oh yeah.
Simon was definitely the fucking chat of that entire arc.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what ranking would you give it?
That's where I kind of have like Fairy Tail being like it's like it's one of the downers of being a B tier because I'm like hey it's good, but the way that they did it was kind of like off, and that's why I think people like didn't exactly like A1 doing this shit.
Okay, fair enough. So where do you all sit on Tower of Heaven?
I'll give it a B tier.
Yeah, B tier.
I actually thought it was one of the better arcs, so I gave it an A tier, but that's just me. And then
You have your own opinions. It's fine.
and then like we
Got to Ongaku Our Sound.
yeah, which we already talked about recently. So
Yeah.
great music anime.
I feel like it's the best Adult Swim show that Adult Swim never made.
Yeah, and it was very, very endearing, and it was very fun to watch.
So I could really just imagine just Adult Swim picking this up and just doing it just 12-ounce mouse-esque show. Just guys just getting into like stoner comedy shenanigans.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was.
This really did just feel like an anime stoner comedy.
Oh yeah, and it fits in well with like the whole music anime thing. That, like that girl group that they run into. Just
Yeah, it's
had
like
some.
the folk music club that they end up accidentally inspiring them to become a rock band.
Yeah, and they have some great songs in this movie. They really do. I gave it an S tier. Like, it was kind of very easy to do because it was just such a... Kind of like with Girls Band Cry, where it's, like, just such a visceral kind of, reaction of, like, what...
Yeah, this is what creating is about.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking around and throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. So, yeah, that's where I stand. S tier.
Same.
And then Lupin the Third, Secret of Twilight Gemini. Well,
So, okay, I'm gonna say this one thing. I barely remember that movie.
What I have is my little blurb to talk about with this one. It says, titties and brutal deaths.
Fujiko.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, where we saw Fujiko's bare titties.
Yeah.
And that other girl, too.
Right.
It's like any female character just got titties shown.
They found the ancient crystal city in the desert, and it turned out to be like the treasure is the friends we made along the way.
Oh, yeah, those... Where they had the long scene of them riding on the camels.
Yeah,
Desert.
yeah. I put that one in B tier. Like, it was a fun adventure, all told. It's just, like, to compare with, especially what else we watched that night on Gaku, is like, you know.
Yeah.
It was a fun Lupin adventure, but it wasn't really anything to write home about.
And that's where we get caught up.
That's our year-end list.
Yeah, so our year in review, I would probably say we probably had more S's and A's than we... I probably shouldn't say it in that order. We had more A's and S's. Oh my god, I can't say that shit
More
either.
high tier than
There we
bottom
go.
tier stuff.
Thanks. Oh, my drunk ass couldn't get through that.
Who's on first?
What's on second? We had more higher tiers than we did lower tiers, which is probably a good thing. If we did this probably the year that I joined this club, we probably have more lower tiers because, you know, not Darling the Franks. That was a low one. But Jimmy to Mary being that one weird fucking low one is definitely... I mean, for me, so far, it feels like a year since I've joined the Anime Club group, even though this channel is 2 years old.
Yes, it's been at least 2 years.
It's been at least 2 years.
Yeah. But I think we're going to sign off for the night so we can kind of rest and recuperate. But thank you all for joining us. We look forward to giving you the absolute best 2025 that we can hope to create, from cons to podcasts.
And speaking of 2025, we should be on more platforms. I didn't mention this in our little ad break. We should be on more platforms than just YouTube. I will post a community tab, and then our first seasonal episode of the one after the New Year's, we will go ahead and yell about that. Which should be my birthday little stream there.
Woo!
January 27th.
Correct?
All right, cool.
Your boy will be turning 28. I'm old.
Get over it.
No. These white hairs didn't earn themselves. Alright, well, other than that, guys, check out the links we have below, and they will be soon to change once the next season rolls over. But, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Here's to a better 2025.
We're onwards and upwards,
Woo!
as always.
As always. Alright, everybody, have a good night.
Take care.
Bye!
Stay frosty.